All right, we are live. Fantastic. Let me get the link to this thing out to people, and we can talk about this crap. Do 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 do. All right, sending out the link. Sending out the link. Sending out the link. Alright. Let's see what the hell is going on. Alright. Let's see here. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. If your people are there, pardon I'm boring, pardon I'm boring. Yeah, I know YFBETA just dropped 75%, and holy shit. That is part of why I am here. I was setting this up to do a, well, when I was getting all plugged in and opening the sites and everything, I was planning on doing a review of GEKKO. And then GEKKO seemed to fucking rug pull, so this is going to turn into a post-mortem of GEKKO. And then YFBETA had its fucking problem, and I thought, okay, well, now we need to add in YFBETA. I was just going to start off by responding to Wise Staking, this guy over here, with his subscribers. I mean, got more than me, so I got to respect the guy. I mean, seems to be at it, and I got to say, I don't think he's wrong, like incorrect in his facts. It's just I disagree that this is like a major serious problem. Possibly a bit, but who knows? Alright, so what's happening with YFBETA, guys? And someone please enlighten me. Yes, that is what we will do. So, like I said, I was going to start off with GEKKO and some announcements, but everyone is very, very hungry to find out what the hell has gone on with YFBETA and this fucking dip. So, let's see, because that's a pretty hefty goddamn dip. Sorry, let me just get my windows fucking in order. I got way too much crap going on all over the place, so pardon me. Alright, looking at here. And, oh yeah, let me just go ahead and close that. Want to talk to PyDAO about some things. Like I said, we will save some of the other announcements. We will save worth buying the dip on YFBETA. Alright, so as far as worth buying the dip, I will go ahead and get the usual annoying bullshit statements out of the way. I'm not a financial advisor. I am not professionally engaged to review or audit any code. I cannot give you financial advice. Everything that I am telling you is what I would do with the money if it were mine, or what I am doing with my money. Not advice for you, and my assessment as just a guy that likes this stuff on the quality of the code. So, first off, recommendation, the YFBETA code, solid, still solid. He's not pulled any shenanigans on the governance aspect, so no, doesn't seem to be any problems there. But in looking at the price and things and what's been going on, it just took a massive shit. And if we dig into exactly where that happened, that was at about 2:36 p.m. Pacific time, which would be... Alright, so this guy posted yesterday, so he didn't, people didn't run out and do it immediately in response, but I wouldn't be surprised if he helped move that needle a little bit, and, his disdain for the vote. Well, we'll also talk about that too. Let me see here. So, that is where, in dealing with this, as I said, whoops. Let me drop the link over there. Alright, so yeah, that is where, let's go ahead and take a look at what has happened with the vote. And let's see what has been going on with... let me tell this guy. Audit code for the community. I work for tips. Alright, so, as that guy, I'm sure you guys are knowing him, that you know, certain number of problems in the chat, so, you know, hey, I'm not gonna rag on him. He is a bit of an asshole, but you know what? I'm a bit of an asshole, so I'm not gonna hold being a fucking asshole against somebody, you know? What is going on here? Oh, that's another message. I will get back to that. Are you only the dev? Yes, I am. Wait. Alright. So, let me be clear here, for people that are wandering around. I got no... Oh, yes. There we are. Yes, I am doing audits. Okay, great, cool. That person's out there. Alright, pardon. Just got a lot of shit going on and stuff coming in. So, let's go ahead and take a look here and see what's up. Yes, I am this platonic trickster. That is me. What do you think the coyote is? I mean, for fuck's sake. Coyote, trickster god, platonic trickster. I mean, come on, really. Alright, so, pardon to keep you guys waiting. We should dig into this and find out what the fuck has been going on. Alright, so we got our massive dip here. That occurred at about 2:30 p.m. Pacific time today. From the activity on the contract and what we can find. So if we take a look over at the token graph, let's see where it has been going on with the token and where it's been going, and if anything has happened. I am projecting that what has occurred in all the relationships of the various tokens and how things were dispersed is that some people just got a little freaked by some of the announcements and possibly just did a massive sell. On top of that, I will point out that a lot of times in these things, when something has skyrocketed so high and then is holding steady for a while, because if we look at a 7-day graph on this thing, if it'll load up in time, YFBETA just fucking skyrocketed up into insanity. And in doing that, it, you know, and skyrocketing like that and then juggling around for a bit, there's definitely going to be some people that at a certain point want to realize those profits and will sell off. So that very well could be the first one. This will be the first fully community-driven coin. I'm going to correct on that in the YFBETA chat. It's not the only 100%. Yes, I am familiar with how governance works. Yes, I do know how governance works in ERC20. Mostly how governance works in ERC20 is it depends on how the dev has coded it. There isn't like an integrated governance system in there. So, please save us. I didn't tell you to buy YFBETA. I told you that it was a sound code block. So let's be clear there. I'm always saying that I'm not giving advice. What I think has happened here has just been a massive sell-off of people to try to realize profits. When we look at the activity going on here and that flood of sell-off, we can see, looks like it's gone... Yeah, we have our normal distribution, went to dev deployed over here to smart contract. That would have been a lot of the deposit into the liquidity. That went off to, was purchased by various addresses. And so if we take a look at the address graph, and yeah, that's part of what I'm seeing here. I believe part of it was also the announcement by the dev. So yeah, if we dig into announcements and take a look there, I will say that I do not have any special contact with the developer on this project. I don't have any special relationship or contact with anyone there, or on any of these teams. I am pretty much in the same position as you guys. I don't get special info. I don't get proprietary knowledge. In fact, I don't want it because I want to avoid any possible conflicts of interest or releasing proprietary information. So basically anything that might, in traditional development world, require a non-disclosure agreement, I just flat out don't do. From what we're seeing here, to be clear, these big circles here, those are exchanges. And so in that, when we have the token and we have a bunch of big lines here back and forth, that's perfectly normal. So I want to highlight that. This other one, yeah. And this other one, they're all decentralized exchanges. It's normal to see these big, huge operations going back and forth. As far as... Alright, that's also one is for anyone asking about, like, can I ask the dev for a vote? Can I try to get things pushed through? To be honest, I'm very hesitant to try to influence a token at all. I don't want to become in the position of having, like, governance, control, oversight, any sort of influence on how a token operates, because I'd like to remain independent. I possibly could give advice on how to run things, but to be honest, there's so many different ways to run things, and there's so much new stuff. Hard to judge exactly how that should go. So yeah, I'm seeing that right here, what we probably had was a massive sell-off that was a combination of people wanting to realize those profits and the dev disagreeing with the dispersal. That is where, to read the dev announcement, for anyone that might not have picked that up and might not know what's going on, I'll do that just now. Let me see what we got in the chat here, as far as a few options. Yeah, we got it down. Check the Discord announcement. Yeah, that's about the announcement. I'm working on saving, but I'm not, like I said, I didn't tell anyone about YFBETA. I told you the code would work, and I pointed out the risks of having governance in place, but told everyone that from talking with the dev and reviewing the project, I would not be concerned too much, but it is always a risk. So yeah, from the time the announcement went out, which was at 2:36 p.m., this is all because of that announcement, to be honest. So, I mean, anyone that's called that one, you're entirely right. I agree in your assessment. I think that's correct, that it happened in the announcement. People took one look. They didn't like that. They probably saw that the dev wanted a 2-year emission. Other folks did not share his views and seemed to be what I would consider a bit of a poorly worded announcement in that regard, in that, they said that they would be handing over governance of this and then moving on to the next project related to YFBETA. I might have worded that a little different to make it clear that they still have interest and will still be wanting to see this through. But yeah, I can understand that little bit of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. What? Oh, what website is in the graphs? Yeah, totally. Sorry, if you're not Wolf from Twitter, thank you. Kind of flattered you're here. I appreciate that. 2, I'm presuming that your Save My Familia thing is a meme. If you are actually in trouble from having purchased, I feel for you, man. It has happened to many a person and such. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, here's the link to that site, bloxy.info. Absolutely love it. It's fucking fantastic. It helps me with all of my postmortems and everything. So by all means. So yeah, off we go. Yeah, like I said, I'm hoping you're memeing, dude. Like, you save me the fucking heart attack from saying that you're in trouble because of my recommendation, but Alright, yeah, you're memeing. Alright, that's fine. I accept the memes. I just, when someone streams like that on something like this, I gotta worry, like, oh no, did I inadvertently fuck someone's life by just saying I liked code? I mean, not that I really fucked anyone's life, I just said I liked the code. So, yeah, I'm going through this and saying that the whole thing, from looking at the transaction logs, that if you notice all the big operations, their basic transfer approved things, they're going through the Uniswap routers, some other trading contracts. So to be clear, that's what all of these little gears are on the screen. These little gears are some other smart contract that is talking or working with YFBETA. Because I know we talk about having tokens in your wallet. Technically, you don't have tokens in your wallet. Technically, the token keeps track of your balances, and then the system can look up your balances and keep that going. So, yeah. For a moment, had a heart attack. Yeah, I can relate. I can relate. So, yeah, in this one, I would say that, yeah, it is shameful, or I should say it is regrettable and sad that the dip has occurred. But as we can see, this massive dip has occurred because a large portion of the community appears to disagree with the direction of the project. Which, you know, that's up to them. Everyone has their different opinions. Everyone has their different strategies. I don't want to necessarily say yay or nay on that. Really hard to project these things, so I'm not even sure that would be a good or bad decision. But I will say that, yeah, this sounds like a bunch of people made a vote. A bunch of people read that the dev didn't necessarily agree with that vote, and then in hearing that the dev didn't agree and was going to be handing over governance, that possibly their preferred vote did not go through, and not quite like reading this announcement appropriately to see that the dev is still committed to the project, but they're going to be handing over governance of the token and then moving on to the contracts that will actually do the work. So in that case, yeah, it just sounds like people freaked, didn't like it, and dumped because I don't know, they're babies. If they don't get their way on something, they want to get out. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, on all of this, I would definitely be recommending anyone, and at least for me, if I was going to be holding this, yeah, this sounds like a decent dip to buy. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do, because blah, blah, blah. There's various regulations and whatnot. I can't tell you what to do and all that garbage. But yeah, this does seem like it jumped up, kind of continued for a bit, and then the vote came out. People didn't like the result of that and sold, and as we can see, it is already starting to climb back up. And to be honest, the charts on CoinGecko are a bit behind, so like it's going up a bit more there. You know, if you guys have a better sold and bought back in, so sold 20 at 1600 and bought back in at 380. Yeah, that's a pretty good swing trade. Nice one. So, yeah, you know, Wolf, I don't really know who the fuck you are or where you came from, but I've seen your work on Twitter, if that's the same name. So, what the hell? Have a wrench, help me out. I've liked your work on Twitter. You seem like a cool guy. If you turn out to be a giant fucking dick, I'll just take your wrench away. Alright, so, with that, yeah, so like I said, I would just say this is a perfect time to buy the dip. It looks like all of this has come around because, pardon my little fucking thing is, fucking mic arms, always a bitch. Alright, so, yeah, I'd say this looks like for me, seems like a reasonable time to buy the dip. The project is not in trouble. The dev still seems to be committed to things. It's just the rocky road of handing over governance. And, oh no, banhammer time! Okay, well, yeah, what the hell, banhammer? No, please don't. Let me build an audience for fuck's sake. I'm not even to 1,000 subscribers yet. Although, I'm up above 200 in only a couple days, so fantastic. I like that. Nice, total cost of 1,200, decent trade. So, yeah, for this one, I would definitely say don't freak out too much. This isn't some sort of crazy rug pull. This isn't some bullshit you know, failure of the protocol or anything. I know you're just joking. I appreciate that. But yeah, hey man, now that I know that you're like a hardcore sarcastic memer, by all means, have fun. It seems like you got it in hand. So, and you know what, man? If you'd ever like to do a stream together, especially when I'm reviewing code and whatnot, I'm happy to do that. So, where was I? Oh yeah, that's where, in here, as I said, looks like it's climbing back up. Looks like every motherfucker that's, like, a bunch of people sold. A bunch of people probably sold in this on the swing trade, and then it's climbing back up. So it looks like while we're talking right now, things are going okay. So yeah, this can be a rocky road. It's a goddamn roller coaster. I mean, whoo, boy, trading's a fucking roller coaster. That's why I'm not a day trader. Man, I don't think I could keep up with those sort of heart attacks regularly. Coming to Wolfpack. Okay, cool. Well, I am a Doge, so, I mean, makes sense. And I am a wild Doge, being Coyote, so I'm not domesticated. So yeah, totally. I'll come hang out with you guys. I don't know where your Discord is. I don't know what the hell's going on there. If you've got a Telegram group, no. I fucking hate Telegram. It's goddamn cancer. Like, I don't know why anyone manages their shit on Telegram. Oh, wow. A single-threaded multi-group chat channel? Yay. That's so useful for managing things. But yeah, I'll definitely come hang out and chill with that. Like, by all means, send me a link, drop me stuff. Well, thank you. Send me a DM on Discord. Okay, cool. I got a shit ton of messages that pile up. And, oh. Okay. Well, let me just tell them. So, looks like somebody over at Harvest.finance wants to talk to me. Cool. Maybe we'll talk to them later, do something about Harvest.finance. We've got various messages here. Well, let's talk later. Apparently other people want to talk about other stuff, so we'll get back to them. And alright, cool. Somebody else is messaging me on something on Twitter, so cool. Yeah, if that was you that just did the, like, questions at me on Twitter, then yes. Or, I'm sorry, on Discord, then yes, that would be it. Alright, yeah, totally. Sure, man. Wolf, I think you got me on Twitter. Send me a link to your Discord. I will totally jump in. I think I can find you on Twitter. I'm not... Yeah, there you are. Yeah, cool. Let me get a link from you on that, and we'll cool. We'll get that going. We'll talk a bit. Maybe we can collab some, do some reviews. But yeah, nice. Awesome, man. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much. Like I said, I appreciate your work on Twitter. This thing's climbing back up, so that's good. So yeah, like I said, from the basic glance at the transaction logs, the fact that all the major transfers seem to appear to be through various smart contracts going through exchanges, and no real standouts on the actual token sale. And when looking at the token graph to see the distribution of the token graph, we didn't see any major shifts in liquidity. Doesn't look like anyone did a major dump all at once, because if we want to dig into the level of detail here and expand that out, we can see that... Yep, keeps adding more and more detail. There we are. And so yeah, as we keep adding those in, we can see that, yeah, there's been... When you see the blocks like this, that's groups of addresses that have moved things back and forth. And so, like, we've got 1,500 addresses over here that have been moving things. Look like they have taken in 9,000 and sent out 7,000 again on a DEX. We've got about 1,200 addresses here that have received or bought 3,000 YFBETA on DEXs. The reason they're kind of broken out here is these folks have just bought, these folks have bought and sold. So that's why it distributes them out like that. From looking at the dev, we can see here, because that's the dev right there. Because right here, this globe, that's the system. So that's quite literally the blockchain. That's why that has that massive distribution of tokens over to the dev. And we can see that the dev then deposit into a smart contract here for the initial liquidity, and then sent the rest off to the DEX exchange. And then the DEX exchange interacted. That's why you see all of this here, this back and forth of so many goddamn tokens, and why it seems to be about the same, 795. This marks a DEX in that, and then this is typically the smart contract behind the DEX that's actually doing the transfers back and forth. So that's why you see that there. As far as, geez, I really wish this thing did a better job of mapping it out and laying it all out for us, but to be honest, that might be a little much to ask. You know, it's trying to lay out a lot of shit. Alright, so, what site is that? This site is Bloxy.info. Bloxy.info is, oh, fantastic, yeah. Bloxy.info is a beautiful site. I absolutely love it. Sorry there, getting a lot of messages, so yeah. Yeah, Bloxy.info, beautiful site. I absolutely love it. Gives me a lot of info. The one thing it doesn't have is a contract decompile. So I like to look at Bloxy for the behavior. Also gives you some nice trend analysis. Like on the first tab, it gives you a nice breakdown with graphs and some of the various function calls. A lot of interesting information. You can also, very interestingly, put in something like a function name in the search box, and it will tell you, like right here, if you wanted to see this balance of, you can literally do a search. You don't have to link through it like that. Just search balance of, and shoom, it'll bring up all the contracts out there that have this balance of method in them. We'll show you trends on the number of calls, but anyway, I'm not pitching Bloxy.info here, just wanted to describe that. Alright, so, with that, unless anyone has any final questions on YFBETA, I do see the question there, I'll be addressing that shortly. Unless anyone has any further questions on the YFBETA fiasco that's going on, or a little bit of trouble, I will just close out by saying, yep, I still like YFBETA in the sense that the project's sound, the dev seems to be committed, he's not, like, getting uppity on people disagreeing with him in the vote or anything. He's cool that way, or seems to be cool that way, and is continuing on with development. I really do think that this is just a case of people seeing the announcement, not liking it, and dumping. For whatever reason. I might say childish reasons for not getting their way, but others could be making an assessment on, okay, a 2-year disbursement is not, or not having a different length of disbursement than the 2 years the dev was recommending is bad, and so whoop, dumped and continued on. But it looks like it's climbing back up, so for anyone that either held through this or did the swing trade on it, congratulations. It looks like you're climbing back up to where you were, and everything should continue on just fine. And for any that just started, congratulations on your first fucking roller coaster. This is how trading goes, man. It's fun, isn't it? So yeah, for the question on when Audit DAO Discord, well, interestingly enough, that is quite literally something that I set up just minutes before in the assessment here. Now, to be clear, I don't know where the fuck this guy came around because I included the link in my Twitter announcement. So that's all. I have not gone through or set up any of the roles yet, none of the channels. So I'll be going through and setting up the various channels very shortly and getting that ready. If you look at my Twitter announcement, that has a link to the Discord. And so if you'd like to hop in, by all means, go right ahead. Right now, it's wide open and anyone can come in. I'm not restricting in that. From folks that were here before, and my little like pseudo pre-sale, pre-sale announcement on my little project here, we'll still be getting special roles and have a few special rooms for them so we can talk and plan things. And anyone else that would like in, I am perfectly happy to accept that. By all means, you can send me a message and we'll work on getting that in there. I'm trying to do that for at least this first week of folks that would like to get in and would be interested in handling through or going through. Oh, thank you for telling them to hit the like and subscribe. That does help. I appreciate it. It's always nice. And to remind anyone, I'm doing this for free. Well, for tips. But I'll just keep going regardless of the tips. I'm doing this because I think the community needs a serious independent audit body. I think that the fact that all the auditing is being handled in a traditional fintech way, or TradFi as I like to say, TradFi way with companies with lots of insurance and doing closed reviews and all of that is not the way we should be going. So to be clear here, let me go ahead and drop the link to my Discord here in the chat here in case people want to do that, especially if they don't have my Twitter handle. You guys can go there if you'd like. If you also don't have my Twitter, then that, I think it's in the description. To be honest, I've been at this like 72 hours, I think. Maybe 4 days? I'm not sure. I'll have to check on that. Wow. All right. Awesome. People are coming in. Sweet. Totally. And you know what? I got the message here from Wolf. I will go ahead and join live on his Discord while we're here. And we'll collab and share. Not looking to steal. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Always so many fucking servers. What the hell, Discord? Honestly. Why? Why do you give me a limit of... Yeah, fuck you guys. I don't play Warframe anymore. You guys can go away. Cool. Sweet. Don't show all my groups. Some of them are naughty. No, not naughty. Some of them are just fucking pointless. So yeah, let's go ahead and reload that. Let's go ahead and get on Wolf's Discord live while I have that and remember. And you know what? What the heck? Go join Wolf's Discord too. I'm not looking to poach anybody. He seems cool and is not looking to poach either. And we will go through that. So yeah, getting messages, getting relationships, building things out. We'll go ahead and keep that over here for right now. So if you guys want to chat in there, we'll actually have that up on the screen. If anyone posts anything too inappropriate that might cause me problems on YouTube, well, then we'll just move that off the screen, won't we? So yeah, try not to be dicks. All right, I'm trying to keep this shit going. I don't mind if you're silly. I don't mind if you're a bit of an asshole. I don't mind if you're gonna like meme hard or anything, but like just, you know, let's not get anything fucking shut down just as it's starting. I'd feel really disheartened if that happened. So with that, and since everyone's here, oh yeah, don't click the NSFW channel. No, I'm aware of that. So with that, thank you very much for the appreciation on the stream. I love that. Loving working with you guys. You're beautiful. I gotta say, the YFBETA community, you're the ones that got me started on this. Oh, fucking hell. We're back up to $700. So good job there, guys. Good job. So yeah, I appreciate it. You guys are literally the ones that got me started doing this. I just thought I thought I was just showing up at a coin launch. I thought I was going to be getting in on the ground floor on something. No, there is no naughty stuff here, and there's not going to be naughty stuff here. This one is for professional work, real professional work. Because you YFBETA guys, you got me started on this. I really appreciate it. It's absolutely fantastic because I have gotten some incredible response on everything that's happening here. Absolutely blown up. The tips that have come in have really helped and changed things. And that's where, with my announcement, to kind of give a point on that, I'll just say real quick here. For his review here and his assessment on the whales, my assessment here is, yeah, it makes it a little difficult for whales to get in, but it also makes it very difficult for whales to get out. So my read on this whole supposed liquidity problem that he's pointing out, he's correct in his facts. I'm not disagreeing with his facts. He knows what he's talking about. I just disagree that it's a problem. As in, it makes it a little difficult, harder for whales to get in, makes it a little hard, but it also makes it harder for whales to get out. And as I like to always tell my clients in the professional world, I can't solve all your problems, but I can help you decide which ones you want to live with and try to make that as painless as possible. So, sweet. All right, now, we can bring professionalism to naughtiness. That's what the AVN conference and awards are for, and that's lovely and all, but to kind of lead to my point here of what I'm doing and what I have going on, and pardon as I got a lot of windows open on things. Part of what I'm doing here and what I have going on is that I have decided that the way to scale what I am doing is to launch an audit DAO. Now, I know that there's already an audit DAO out there in the sense that there is a Twitter account calling itself Audit DAO, and that Audit DAO is tied to PyDAO, but to be honest, the linked forums for Audit DAO are gone. There's nothing behind that link. The site doesn't respond. And the Twitter account hasn't posted since May 7th. So I'm guessing Audit DAO there is dead. They also didn't buy any of the domains, so I now have auditdao.crypto. I also have auditdao.finance. And so nothing's been, like, this is literally shit I did just, an hour ago to get set up for the stream. So it's all still in process. We're all still getting everything set up. While I've been doing that, I've been having a crap ton of meetings with a lot of people. So I've met with some IT consulting firms that I know that work in TradFi FinTech that are interested in getting involved. I have spoken with several other DAOs that are interested in getting involved, tentative conversations with some DAOs that build and manage DAO platforms, some other DAOs that are working on EFI tokens, just because I happen to be really bullish on EFI, and so they're just the ones that I happen to have already had contact with and be working on. I have... Oh, wait, sorry. Because of more question there. So, because if more people speculating on coin, less farming for protocol from real farming equals less burning. Yeah, kind of. Basically, like if the burn, the quote-unquote burn that's happening, I just like calling it a burn because yes, it is removing tokens, but it's doing it through a rebase function that is adjusting the supply of the tokens at the same time it removes them. And I really like that because that means that on the counterpoint of when you rebase to increase supply, which is not happening here, you do so by not reducing or not diluting anyone's assets. And when you rebase on contracting the supply, you're also taking a safeguard to help protect against hyper deflation. And so you're not inadvertently inflating people's value. So technically, what YFBETA is doing is what's called a negative rebase, or as some people term it, a debase. Because rebase really just talks about changing it. But anyway, so yeah, they're technically doing a negative rebase. I really prefer the negative rebase on this. It really helps, like I said, avoid inflating anyone's value and make sure that everything that everyone has, while all the changes are going through, you're going to have the same value in the token. And since it is adjusting the supply, it's removing some of the tokens and then adjusting supply downward, it doesn't need to adjust your balance. So you're not going to experience with YFBETA that really freaky thing that happens with like Ample and Rample and Based, where your balance changes, and that can like scare a lot of people. In fact, that's kind of really what scared the crap out of people with Ample and gave them their giant fucking problem at the beginning. I really think they should have done a better job of explaining it, but really, what more can you do than just put up a website and tell everyone? So, yes, have the domains, have the Discord. Again, for everyone here, the whole point of Audit DAO is to build kind of an Apache software foundation for, Apache software foundation for crypto. So to be clear, what I'm launching here, it is not intended to be something that's going to turn a profit for me. Might turn a profit for you guys on trading the governance tokens, but to set the expectation here, the whole point of this thing is to put together a sort of Apache software foundation for crypto, a intent that we're starting off with a automated audit as a service contract. Oh, can I mute my Discord? I suppose I can. I mean, sure. Where's the notifications? There we go. Yep, we'll just disable the desktop notifications. Thank you for reminding me. So yeah, there we are. So yeah, the whole point here is, like I said, to have a automated audit as a service platform intended to securely audit a developer's contract when they upload it, do so in a secure manner that we running the platform would have no access to their code and no ability to modify it or see it or anything. I know I can do that because essentially I'm just applying the work that I do in traditional finance with fintech to crypto. And if I can make the SEC and FTC happy with my designs, security-wise, I'm pretty damn sure I can make it work for crypto. So, yeah, you might be able to even see some of the people that I've been talking to if you look at some of the icons there of things that are happening. But yeah, I'm talking to a lot of projects, working on a lot of things. How can automated audit even be possible? Well, that is where I can give you guys a beautiful little lesson or ad hoc crash course in development. Now, this is where we can take a look at trade bits, because as long as the dev didn't rug pull and the dev wallet is untouched, YFBETA is probably, yes, and I can confirm from my look that the dev wallet that deployed this thing, oh, is it wrong? Was it Trailbits that I was looking for? I can never remember who did the goddamn audit. Has helped secure, yeah, I think it's Trail of Bits. Is that the right one? If I pull up a goddamn porn site by accident, I'm going to be really annoyed. Cure Products, is this them? Yes, this is them. Okay, so that's where I wanted to throw out there that, yeah, how an automated audit can be possible. And I will tell you that an automated audit is possible because I do that professionally for companies like Prudential, Discover, MasterCard, Visa, Sprint, numerous credit card payment processors all around the world. I've done that. To be honest, that's what I do. Most of my work professionally is in designing, excuse me, in designing and implementing secure software development life cycles and distributed scalable software architectures for financial service companies. I also work in medical because they both have very similar security concerns. And this is where I think that I can take some of the work that's done by groups like Trailbit, where they're offering it at what I consider rather hefty price, and basically take their open source projects, because I love open source. I absolutely love the ability that we can collaborate, that we can share code. I also like that you can't really block anyone from it. So here, I'll just go ahead and steal their code right now. It's not actually stealing. This is actually how open source works. And we can dig into like the license agreement and everything. I'll have to confirm that. But with these, this is where what we're looking at with Slither, and I plan on using this and modifying it and then giving my contributions back to the Slither project to help improve it. So I expect Trail of Bits and I will probably become co-opetition in the space. Might be able to get a partnership with them. I'll have to think about that. But in these cases, Slither is what's called a static code analysis tool. Oh, sure. I can do a tutorial on Bloxy. I'll have to get to that later. Right now I'm in the middle of something. But yeah, I think a tutorial, I've been planning on that for a bit, is some video tutorials on how to use some of the analysis software, how I'm digging through stuff and things like that. So yeah. So who can be YFBETA's? Me? No. I'm going to be far too busy on new developers. To be clear, the developer is not going anywhere. He's not leaving. He said that he's going to be moving on to the financial exchange portion of the contract. So he's still working on it. He's just handing over governance of the token to the community. So now the community can take votes and make decisions on where that is. So, as far as YFP, yeah, I don't even remember what the hell YFP is. What the fuck is YFP? Oh, YF Protocol. Yeah, this was one I also heard about, and I had to dig into them. I was going to need to take a look at what they're doing. I kind of like their site. I mean, it's well put together, and has an interesting structure. And so, yeah, if I remember right, I think it's... Yeah, the devs is alive, the YFBETA is alive, the dev posted a statement, and they're going to continue working and all that. They just disagree with the vote, that's all. So, not a big deal. Yeah, from the Yearn Finance Protocol, yeah, this is looking to be a description or an implementation of yield farming. They're working very similar to Yearn. They've got information on, you know, bringing fairness with analytics. Looks like I'm going to have to go talk with these guys and see what options they have for doing that. Maybe we can work together on something. But yeah, that is where in setting this up, I still need to go look at their contract, so I can't give any sort of assessment on the state of their project and the viability of their code. But I will say that they did lock liquidity, and so that's a good sign. All right, so I won't say how I feel exactly. I still got to take time to dig into them, but so far they seem to be a reasonable structure. All right, I kind of like how they're putting things together. All right, so where were we? Yep, not a rogue, not a scam. It on YFBETA is quite literally just, it looks like at the second the vote went through and the second the dev made their announcement that they didn't agree with the vote, but we're then continuing on with development of the financial exchange that's going to go with YFBETA, and then for handing over governance to the community, I just think a bunch of people got freaked or didn't like the result of the vote and decided that since the vote didn't go their way, they were going to dump. And you know what? That is entirely up to them. That is the beautiful part of decentralization. People can basically go anywhere they want, do whatever the fuck they want. They don't have to be locked in, but it does lead to roller coasters like this. So I personally don't mind the roller coasters. I like them, but, you know, some people, like, I don't know, fucking socialists and fascists actually like stability. They think stability is good for some fucking reason. That's why they're willing to kill hundreds of millions of people over that to try to achieve stability. I value human life over stability, and so I'm going to take the roller coaster in life of letting people kind of do their thing, you know? I'm a real big freedom guy like that. I'm like hardcore on the individualist side of the triangle. And if you're not familiar with the political trichotomy, go look it up. It's a much better one than this fucking left-right spectrum and even the political compass, because the political compass, the four-quadrant thing, I don't know why they tried to come up with, like, libertarian left as a thing, because that's literally not possible under leftist ideology. Like, it just doesn't fucking work. But I'm not here to talk about politics. As fun as that is, that sort of shit will get me banned. So, yeah. On the audit DAO, like I said, my whole point here is to build that out. I was describing how that might physically be possible because someone asking about the tech. And that's where, quite literally, there are projects out there. So in the traditional development world, for a long time, we've had a lot of products similar to this. We have things like SonarCube. We also have Crap4J. Crap4J is a good one. And I love the fact that I get to say Crap4J in meetings with board members and shit, that I get to look the CEO right in the eye and say, we're going to protect your code with Crap4J. But all of those tools are intended that as you're building and compiling your code, as you're putting it together, they literally go through and scan the source code, the human-readable version of the code, and since they can understand how things are put together, it can identify problems. So if you have some weird statement in there that doesn't make sense, it will be in the end human-centered, but it's not going to be it's not going to be human operated. So let me be clear here in how it's set up. And I'll just finish up with the description here. So yeah, we have tools here that can analyze source code before it's compiled. These tools can identify problems and issues in the code themselves before it's even compiled and built and run, and can tell you that you did something really stupid in there. And then we also have what's called fuzz testers. Fuzz testers are where you can put in information about your project. Fortunately enough, we have that for the most part in Ethereum, where we have our contract ABI, which defines the interface or the ability to interact with the contract, like what methods are or what functions are available. What a insult. Vote is changed now for 1 year. Wow. All right. Yeah. Okay, cool. I know it is kind of insulting that people sold off just based on the announcement. I want to say they were being a little childish, but what are you going to do? If they didn't think the project would be viable because of that, so be it. So yeah, in this case with the automated development, you know what? I'll take questions off the Discord as the priority, and I'll take questions off the YouTube from there. It's always a little hard to read and deal with the YouTube. Where is the Discord link? That is fine. That is in my Twitter, but I can also just drop that again here, just for folks that want it. By all means, come on over. Everyone's welcome. Just don't post nudes or anything, please. It's just, I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be more professional. Alright, so, yeah, YFBETA still solid. Code is still good. There was no rug pull. It was just people freaking out about the announcement. For mine, yes, the automated audit is entirely possible. I know it's possible. I have been building and designing such things for about a decade now. Commit, like, that has been a core point. In fact, any project that I get on where I'm like designing a larger e-commerce or credit card transaction processing system, I start off by implementing this thing. So, to be honest, what I'm proposing here is quite literally stuff I do in the first 2 weeks of any other project that I work on. So I'm positive I can get this in place. I already have interest from several developers working in the space that are proficient with Ethereum development, that have already launched their own projects. They're interested in getting involved. I've actually spoken with the YFBETA dev, and they are very, very busy, but they say they're perfectly happy to assist in any way that they can, and I would definitely like to get their input on things. I've been talking to multiple DAOs out there that are in this space and trying to get their enlistment here. Have some very, very good responses from several organizations on that. Unicrypt kind of blew me off, but you know what? That's up to them. They don't have to be involved. I'd like to partner with them, but the beautiful part is that because it's an open protocol and they can't block me, I can still integrate with their stuff, and I don't have to talk to them or cooperate with them. So whatever. I would like to partner with them, but apparently they're very concerned about having dealt with scams previously, so they're hesitant to, pick up on an unsolicited, unsolicited offer of getting involved in such a thing. They did find it interesting when I was discussing it with them that my intent is to launch this as an NPO, a non-profit organization. And so, in running it as a non-profit organization, I want to run it akin to what's called the Apache Software Foundation. For any of those that aren't familiar with the Apache Software Foundation, wow, it just has, a lot of people in here. Thank you. That feels really, really good. That's amazing. All right, cool. But yeah, in that, the Apache Software Foundation, out in the rest of the development world, if you're not familiar, that is where they are a non-profit organization. They, or at least as far as I'm aware, they're a 501c3. They do not exist to make profit. The whole point of the Apache Software Foundation, and I'm only bringing this up to give a frame of reference for what I'm talking about here, because if you want to go do your research, you can look them up, and I'm going to be mimicking very much what they do. But that is where what the Apache Software Foundation does is they accept project donations from development groups to offer up to the world. And so, quite literally, like, for example, Pivotal Software. They're another major software company. They write a bunch of different applications, server software, stuff like that. Pardon, it's running slow. I've got way too many windows open. I think I've got a couple hundred tabs open from all my research. I need to clean it up. But anyway, hello Dooney, hello everyone, hello Cryptic, hello John, hello LARP, you're all beautiful. Thank you very much for coming. But that is where I'm modeling it on the Apache Software Foundation. So that's where in taking open source tools like this that execute things, that it would be akin to the Apache Software Foundation, which will take donations of projects from development teams, and they will. Oh yes, that is where the Apache Software Foundation will take donations of projects from development teams, much akin to how Pivotal Software donated their caching server called Gemfire to, to Apache. They renamed the project to Geode to reflect that. And now Apache owns that code. They own the license to that code. In fact, if we look at their various projects here, we can see the list of projects they have, and this is kind of what I'm hoping for. So all of these different projects are code projects. They're applications. They're usually intended to be servers and other build tools and such that people have developed. They have donated to the Apache Software Foundation. So Apache owns the license and copyright on this code. Well, they own the copyright on the code. You don't really have another one. So they own the copyright on the code. They maintain the code. Now, they're completely nonprofit, so they either accept volunteer work from corporations that write code, and basically, like for example, JMeter, company makes JMeter, company wants JMeter to advance, they donate that to the Apache Software Foundation, and then they employ some devs to continue developing and contributing to that. Which also makes it a nice tax write-off too. So if you give your project to the Apache Software Foundation and then you pay developers to solely work on the project for the Apache Software Foundation that they own, then a portion of that is tax deductible. That's a lovely little deal we have going on here. But yeah, the whole point of this and how it's put together is to have a regular site, regular organization that is managing the copyright on this, making it freely available to anyone that wants to use it, and therefore here, I'll turn that down too, because I'm sure that's terribly loud. But we'll manage it, and then in doing so, we'll have code that other people can use. So anyone can get this, anyone can use it. Now, that's what I would like Audit DAO to kind of become. I would like it to become the Apache Software Foundation for code. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, in here, I would like us to become the Apache Software Foundation for crypto code. I would like us to launch with the automated audit service, starting off with adopting the use of Slither and Echidna from the Cryptic group over at Trail of Bits, if they're the right ones. Yeah, they're the Trail of Bits people. And so, yeah, I would like to partner with these guys. I have not quite contacted them. Since they're a big audit firm, I'd like to approach them when I have more deals and contracts in place. Things a little better. But, cool. This dev is amazing, by the way. Glad the community utilizes it. If you're talking about the YFBETA dev, yes, I agree. They're nice. They're reasonable. They seem to have good intentions in how they put everything together. If you're talking about me, well, thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, in here, that is where I would like to put this together, provide that audit as a service platform. Now, part of what I am doing and why I think this is needed is that I think the nature of cryptocurrency requires a very, very different audit structure. Because bringing in the classic audit structure where you hand your code over to an auditor, they go through everything and then produce their report, keeping it all secret, making sure your code doesn't get out, all of that, then yeah, donation is not mandatory but appreciated right now. I do accept donations at coyote.eth. I'll go ahead and put that in all the chat channels so that people can remember that. It is not, a donation is not required right now. I will be, whoops, that's not the right one. Let me go ahead and delete that. Why did you not work with my cut and paste here? But yeah. But yeah, that is where I accept tips at coyote.eth. That will work in any serious wallet, MetaMask, Coinbase, damn near anything you have, by all means. And so in doing that, yes, I have not launched the token yet. I am, like I said, talking with multiple other DAOs, some DAO platforms on partnering with them, getting things organized. Everyone except Unicrypt is very, very interested, and I already have meetings scheduled throughout the rest of the week to talk to everyone. Unicrypt declined, but I don't need to give a shit about that. Since they're wide open, I can still use their stuff, and I would like to, because I don't want to necessarily duplicate their work. They have a good product. I'm sure that once we get going and establish ourselves and have like a reputable launch, they'll be interested in joining it. But yeah, that's the whole point, is to start off with a automated audit as a service platform that securely a dev can upload or link to their GitHub where their code is. They can provide that to us. We can do all of the testing and validation inside a secure environment where we, running the platform, will not be able to see the code. And that may seem a little crazy, but that's like, for example, how your VPN operates. If you have a VPN service that you're using, that VPN service does not have insight, or they should not have insight into the server and what is going on. If you can help with loop design and other graphics, by all means, send me a DM. I could definitely use it. As you can see, I don't even have a logo for this thing yet. So I need to get a lot in order. I literally just like set all of this up a couple hours ago, getting into the launch. You'll invest. Well, thank you very much. Like I said, I am not selling a financial service. I am not launching a currency. I am launching a platform by which we can have a decentralized DAO or decentralized service to offer up testing to other people. Now, I've been told that apparently there's few other companies that are doing this. That's perfectly fine. I like to cooperate and coordinate with all of them, because my intent here is that we become a non-profit organization. We operate akin to the Apache Software Foundation, where we're not really in competition with any of them. In fact, to be honest, I would be giving our platform away for free. I would be packaging it up in a virtual machine and providing instructions on how to build it yourself if you want to build it from scratch. So the intention would be that while a developer is working, they can download their RVM and software. It will all be set up for them. They can start that up. They can feed their code in on their machine and get their test reports and everything while it's working. Once they're happy with that, they would be able to come to our platform. They would be able to upload their code or link to their GitHub, providing the necessary keys to log in if it's private. We would go through the whole process of doing the automated audit and validation, security check, fuzz testing, everything in a secure environment. We would give them their own instance of the testing server and everything that they can work on, so they're not even sharing it with anyone else. It's just theirs. It's all theirs. It is locked up. We won't be able to get into it. Only they will. If anything goes wrong, the most we can do to help is to delete their instance and create a new one. That's it. They would have to work from there. And and that may sound like a problem, but that's a feature. That's not a bug. Because if we can't get in, then developers that want to keep their code secret can still use our platform. And then, having gone through the audit process, that is what we call our minimal viable product, or MVP. Our proof of concept, or POC, would just be the process of basically getting the process of this automated in place. So with that launch, then we can launch that, go public with that, and with that we'll do a DAO launch for a round of investing to fund the development of that. With that in place, and depending on how much we get and whether or not we need another round of investing, we might need to do that. We will continue on and enhance that further by developing a secure deployment system. Because that's another thing that I developed for banks and such, is once you have your code and you want to deploy it to the server, how do you make sure that someone doesn't get into the code or the server, alter things, and fuck you up? And so we have secure deployments where, quite literally, from the last person the last human being that actually touched anything in the system in any way that they could modify was the developer when they wrote their code. From the time they commit and upload their code, the entire testing process, the entire validation process, all of the server testing, all the way out to deploying to live servers and what we in the industry call being in production. From deploying out to production and going live in the real world, that all is completely automated. No human has any intrusion into the system. All we can do is get status reports of everything that's going on, and that's to satisfy regulatory security requirements from various organizations like the SEC, FTC, and various insurance companies for these banks. FDIC has similar requirements. And so I'm pretty sure that on the next advancement of the project, the next step would be to extend that further and provide a deployment plan that developers can include with their project. So they could upload their project, they could have us do the scan, we can generate the reports, they can take the reports, they can show those off to everyone. The report won't include their code, so they're freely able to distribute that and not worry about anyone stealing their code and launching before they're ready to go live. And then we can hold on to that in a secure container, and I'm saying container because we're going to use something like Docker or Cryo for that. If you're not familiar with the tech, don't worry about it. But in that, we can take this, and when I finish up here, I'll be in the Discord and chat in there, so we can have further questions and whatnot. But from there, we can hold on to that. We can store it in encrypted storage so that we can't get access to it. But now we have a secure copy of the code that just passed the tests. So with that, when the developer does want to launch and deploy onto the blockchain, they would be able to come back, and if they need to, they can add it in, or they can have it added beginning, but they can add in a deployment plan that would be packaged up with the code. That deployment plan can lay out exactly how they want the contract deployed, as in launched, put onto the blockchain, along with all token dispersals. And so in this manner, I'm positive that we can provide that next step of security. So the first one, the MVP, would be providing everyone that assurance that for a nominal fee, and I'm expecting I can do this dirt cheap, to be honest, like really, really cheap, because honestly, this stuff does not cost that much to run. But dirt cheap, I can provide that service to developers, so that way they can have audit reports that they can provide to their community. They don't need to try to contact us, and we'll be able to scale. Because, as example, for other companies, and I'm not knocking Trail of Bits or anyone else that does this, but as an example, these other companies, they do have a limit on how much they can do. Because while they're using tools like this, they're still employing people to do the work. And I don't want to employ anyone to do the work. I don't want any human being to look at the code. I want the entire automated system. Now, that might seem like, wait, how are you going to manage that? Well, that is where two main features. One, the next step from there, on top of the deployment process, so we're going to have these scripted automated deployments that can send out a contract. They can lay out exactly how they want the tokens dispersed. We can make sure they're deposited in Unicrypt. We can make sure that any ownership of anything, like if there's any sort of governance around the contract, if there is any allotment of tokens to the dev, we can also make sure that they're deposited into Unicrypt, for example, that we lock the liquidity. We can make sure that they're deposited to appropriate multi-sig, time-locked vaults, whatever is necessary in that regard. And in that way, if we can define and include a method by which developers can post on their website exactly what that token dispersal will be so that the community knows, I am positive that if we can work out a standard data format for that, we can also have part of our process when they build out the deployment strategy, define everything. We can take that, we can go back to their website, we can look for their post telling the community how things are going to launch and what the deployment is. We can confirm that it does match. We can also check the dates on when that stuff was updated to confirm that, okay, this isn't some sort of scam, they didn't like change it at the last minute or anything. We can then go ahead and go with the deployment. From going ahead with the deployment, we can disperse all the tokens appropriately. We can transfer ownership to wherever that's supposed to go. We can, in doing that, produce the report to describe any problems, any flaws, any issues, or I should say risks that somebody might might have in their contract, and everything that's good. Quite literally, just red, yellow, green indicators for all the different points we find in the contract. And so this way, now we can avoid things like happened with so many of the launches that I've been seeing recently, where the dev is entirely reasonable, entirely forthright. They want to have things working properly, but some scammer comes in and posts something else. I saw that with the POTUS launch. They had someone, when they launched, someone saw that and then went and deployed another coin named POTUS. Difficult to stop that, but if you can, boom, flash out, get the deployment done, get all the tokens dispersed, and quite literally the only thing slowing you down is how fast the blockchain can process your transactions, then you can minimize that window in which when you launch, another human comes in and launches something with the same symbol or some complement or some similar issue, and then you're kind of fucked. In this case, we just, boom, get it out, get the whole thing done, the deployment, the token dispersal, everything's taken care of as fast as the blockchain can process it. We can try to rack up the gas fees to, like, push that through as hard as possible. And really, at that point then, what we can do further is that if the developer provides us any documentation and the JavaScript for their DApp, the interface to their application, then I am also positive that as part of the deployment process, we can take the test reports, we can take any documentation the dev provides, we can take the DApp that they provide if they want to do it that way, we can push that into IPFS. If you're not familiar with IPFS, it's a iteration on the internet. It stands for Interplanetary Files Server. It's quite literally intended to be the replacement for TCP/IP that will work on a interstellar scale. It was intended for be working to facilitate work with space stations and long haul ships over space and such, and still give them a reliable way to communicate back with Earth. But what it does provide is a way to have immutable file storage. Now, technically, you can edit the files on there, but that's all tied to having a key. And so what we could do is we could upload all of that stuff, have that on IPFS, burn the key, or give that back to the dev, whichever one they want. But preferably, we would upload the documentation to a place, burn that key, maybe include the DApp there, or include the DApp somewhere else, and then give the dev the key to only the DApp. And then as part of deploying the contract, we can give them an interface to implement in their contract that when we deploy, we should be able to mint a token. And because tokens can be linked to IPFS, we can effectively brand the contract in perpetuity with our validation token. That validation token would act as a link to IPFS, and that's it. Now, if you ever want to review a contract, if you ever want to look at it, you can take a look, you can see what's happening, you should see our validation token in there. You click on that, follow the links, you can be taken directly to all the reports and audit and everything in IPFS, and now we have basically what I consider to be a replacement for the SEC and the FTC, built, designed, and intended for crypto, built and designed in a scalable way that can handle the boom in the market so that we don't have this bottleneck of trying to get audits. And I'm positive that we can do it cheaply enough that any prospective dev should be able to get some basic initial funding to launch that. I mean, I'm hoping that we can get the price down to a point where it's literally pocket change, or the price of a good meal somewhere. I would like to keep it around like 20 to 50 bucks, if that. I mean, I really want to. My goal with this is not to have a for-profit organization. My goal for this is to be a non-profit organization akin to the Apache Software Foundation that is just doing this as a service. We will be accepting donations, essentially selling DAOs and doing rounds of DAO funding to be able to continue funding this and keep it going. If the fees that we're going to charge aren't enough to keep the whole thing sustaining, we'd like to charge just enough of the fee to keep operating, and then do a round of DAO investment funding, selling DAO tokens to get more. Now, that may sound terrible, because oh my god, you're going to release more DAO tokens. I am positive that we can implement an EFI DAO such that if we need to print more DAO tokens to get initial funding, we can do so without affecting anyone's value in that. So that way we can make sure that you will always have an appropriate proportional amount of DAO tokens, even if we go through a second round of funding and print more DAO tokens, or mint those, all right? So I want to make sure that we're not causing any problems, that we're not, well, thank you, that we're not going to be diluting anyone's assets in the DAO. We're going to be doing our damnedest to make sure that that's run fairly. I'm still open to some ideas on how to organize that, because one thing I'd like to do is possibly incentivize developers to join in by giving them DAO, but I'm also hesitant in that I'm not sure I want developers awarded DAO tokens for contributing, going through the process to have the same voting access as everyone else. Maybe sort of an amicus brief style, still working out the details. But yeah, the intention is that you guys, anyone that buys into this, will have voting rights on how the organization is run. You'll get to decide what tools we're going to use and integrate. You'll get to decide exactly what test code we're going to use, because that's the other thing that I want to include, is that in building this platform, I would like to have a community ability, or the ability for the community to upload various tests that they have written out. Because the way all of these work is by writing out some tests that you want to have run. Things you want to analyze, stuff you identify as problems. So I would like the community and other developers to be able to present us new scripted tests. We can include those and make those available for everyone. Like, the developer can just pick and choose whatever they want to run. The community could vote on which tests have to be included in a deployment in order for us to consider validating that contract. So they could use the platform to run their tests, and we're not going to stop them. If they fail, we understand people are going to fail the test, maybe not know what they're doing, like all kinds of bad stuff can come up in the test. That's fine. But if they do want us to deploy their contract for them, then you guys will get to vote and decide on exactly what are the deal breakers for a deployment. All right, if a token has this sort of risk, this sort of security vulnerability, this sort of problem or error, you guys can decide, yeah, fuck that thing. I don't want to deal with that thing. I don't want to handle it at all. And so, oh, hey, caught the tail end of my YouTube stream. Well, thank you. By all means, let me send you the link for the current one. Well, thank you. I just got contacted from folks here. They like that I'm being forthright about talking about the project. Huge show of faith, so I appreciate that. I appreciate the feedback. Yeah, that's my point here, is I'm not trying to get rich off this. I'm taken care of. I'm good. I don't need more fucking money, to be honest. I need enough of a revenue stream to keep me going so that I can keep doing this work. Sweet. Fantastic. So yeah, looks like I might have more folks on board. I'm getting more calls, more contacts from people that want to get involved, so that's beautiful. So yeah, thank you everyone for your appreciation and interest. I'm glad folks like the idea. Again, my entire point here is to just have a non-profit organization that can provide what would normally be very expensive auditing services at a budget rate, and I understand entirely. So, yeah, that's where, at a budget rate, do it that we're not trying to turn a profit, but we will need to charge enough to be able to keep paying the developers to do this. We will have oh, thank you. I'm glad the Wolfpack is in. Yeah, we will have, obviously, a contract with a consulting firm. There's a consulting firm that I have a very good relationship. In fact, the CEO there, I worked with him at a previous consulting firm. I was actually mentoring him through much of the process. Great guy. I've been working with him on his current firm to get it off the ground. Very trustworthy, very forthright, but that's another point. Even though I have a firm that I do have a relationship with, don't have stock, don't have profit in there, but that I do have a relationship with, I also want to have you guys be able to vote on the approved vendors list. Because in order to have a good detachment between the organization and between the people doing the work, no, I did not do my GEKKO earlier. Got into this. I will be doing the GEKKO review in just a second as I wrap this up. So yeah, the intention would be you guys get to vote on what security checks you want done in a contract for us to even consider going through with the deployment and validating them as what we would validate as solid code. We're not doing any financial assessment on things, so it's up to everyone else to decide if it's a good investment. We're just going to validate whether or not the code will work as stated and whether or not it has any bugs and identifying any risks. If, for example, a developer is pushing through with governance and the governance is held by the developer, we would call that out as a risk. If you guys vote that that's completely verboten, the developer does not get to have control after deployment, then we can put that on the deployment no-no list. It'll be a complete deal breaker, and while a developer can use our platform to test their code, if you guys decide that developer-owned governance is just not possible, we won't let them through. Other people can try, but we won't validate them, we won't deploy them. They can go ahead and do that on their own. And that's the point here, is that I'd like to reverse that relationship of organizations like the SEC, FTC, and drive that to be merely a community-driven validation process. We can't stop you from going live, but we're not going to agree with you going live. Do whatever the fuck you want, man. We don't have anything to do with you. We don't like your code. You guys can also then vote, and this is where I really want it. You guys can also vote on what vendors will be on the approved vendor list. So I have a firm that I'd like to offer up as that prospective first option. I trust them. I like them. The entire company is just full of people that I've worked with previously, and I trust and will be happily rely on, but that's me. You guys get to decide. So we'll be entirely honest. We will have a rundown with bios and links to these people's professional reputations and LinkedIn and everything, so you can assess them for yourselves. Even that would be an initial audit. So, to be clear, the firm would get paid for the initial development, so at the very least I can get their buy-in and can assure them that there will be revenue for them to operate. They would be offering up, as that initial vote, the approval as the final, as the company contracted to maintain the project, and so they would be under that contract, be getting regular revenue from the DAO organization. But I hope you can see that that detachment between the body that is owning and managing everything and then the group that is doing the development will help give us that proper separation and that proper control. All right. So with that in place, then we can continue on, and if you guys want to vote for other blockchains in place, if you guys want us to do the same thing for Polkadot, for Chainlink, for EOS, for Tron, for Flow, for Rainbow, for any of the stuff out there, VET, we will quite happily, you guys can vote. We will, upon making the vote, we'll give you an estimate on how much that's going to cost to develop. If you agree, then we'll do a launch of another round of funding by selling off more of our EFI DAO tokens. I'm saying EFI because I want to use that to make sure that when we need to sell more DAO tokens to get another round of funding, we're not diluting your value. All right, so that's another point. I'm hoping this will be one of the first EFI DAO tokens. So if you get on the ground floor and this thing keeps going and going and going, we have to go through years and years and years of multiple rounds of selling more DAO tokens, minting more, getting more people on board, getting more organizations on board, awarding them DAO tokens for their contribution, then Quant Network. All right, I'll make a note of Quant Network and we'll take a look on what that is. But something I'll get to probably a little later. But yeah, that's where... Oh, neat. I'll come back to them. Cool. But yeah, that's where I already have the domains. I have auditdao.finance, auditdao.crypto. Nothing is behind these just yet. I'll be setting that up. I have interest from multiple DAOs that either have their own tokens or work in providing services that support other tokens that are very interested. I have interest from the consulting firm. Already talked to the CEO there. He is wanting a proposal. I have spoken with a few other financial tech firms that work in traditional finance to get their assessment. They think that this is the thing that will finally clinch the lack of interest from traditional finance in decentralized finance. So hopefully, I know we don't like those guys necessarily, but if we want to gut the traditional finance system, we need a Trojan horse to get in. And I think this can be that Trojan horse. And you guys will decide things. You guys can set the standards. We can make sure that you guys are going to get the contracts that you will feel are secure, validated using the terms that you decide on, and deployed in a manner that you would buy into. That's the point. That's the whole guideline here, is if we laid out to you all the things that have happened, what would you need to see in a report to feel comfortable buying in? setting aside the economic analysis, because that's up to you. I got another idea for a firm that would do a similar thing for economic analysis. Already bought the domain for that one because I think I can do a similar automated financial analysis as a separate one. But that would probably be another firm, and another step after this is once we have the platform in place, once we have the funding in place, once we have the ongoing contract with the firm to maintain the platform and do ongoing development as you guys vote on and direct. Alliance block, cool. I'll take a look at Alliance block too. Please start part of the YFBETA community. I will. I'm not sure I can start part of the YFBETA community, but yeah, you guys got me started on this. So I am still considering some options on that, but I definitely want to include you guys. I mean, you got me started. You guys gave me the inspiration to do all of this. You guys took me through my first live stream. You've been pimping and shilling my channel all over the place, and that's how I've gotten as much as I have in the past, you know, at this point about 3 days, like 72 hours, maybe 4 days here. I think I did the first one on Friday, and it's just been maybe Thursday, but it's just been go the entire time. So all of the relationships, all the tentative agreements, all the, you know, please send me a proposal and design laying this all out has all happened in the past couple days, and it's all thanks to you guys. On top of that, I do want to say that all of the tips that you guys have sent in, all the people that have been initially interested in this, in sending stuff in, and this is that tip wallet, so I'm happy for anyone to take a look at it. I have played around with some of the funds here based on some user interest. Like when they asked me a question, I wasn't sure how to do something, I would use tips here to go do that and say, all right, this is the steps you need to go through and invest in that thing or whatever. Someone did send me YFBETA token to here. Thank you for the appreciation. I immediately sold that off because at the time I was doing that, I said I don't want to hold any of the tokens for any of the things that I audit. But in doing that, right afterwards, I realized I can't control people sending me shit. So I think what I'm going to have to stick it to is if I get tokens somehow for a contract that I audit, you guys will decide what I do with those tokens. Where do I put them? I'll probably end up donating them to this DAO when it finally gets set up, so that I don't have to deal with any of that, but you guys can decide for that going forward. So anyway, with that, yes. So to summarize so far, YFBETA, it dipped because there was an announcement. The vote went through on handling the dispersal of the tokens. The developers said that they didn't agree with that, but that they were accepting the community's decision and that they were going ahead with the planned process of handing governance over to handing the governance over to the community to manage from there, and we're then continuing development on the financial exchange. I think that maybe the way they worded it freaked some people out, and the fact that some people just didn't get their vote, or maybe didn't think that the vote was going to hurt the prospects of the project, they sold, and enough people sold that it just drove down the price. So that's what happens. It's a roller coaster in trading. For anyone that either sold at the top and then did the swing trading on the dip, congratulations. Anyone that has bought in on the dip, congratulations, because last I loaded it and looked at it, it was already climbing back up. Now, oh, sorry, that's the Ampleforth. I like Ampleforth, so I just keep bringing it up. I don't know where I put that page, so I'll just pull up another one. But yeah, from there, I think you guys have had quite a roller coaster, but it seems to be evening out there. And yep, there's a revote coming through. It's already climbing back up. I think you're going to see normal trading volume here where it'll swing back and forth, and you'll just see that slow swing up and up and up and up and up now. So yeah, I think that's pretty solid. Yeah, earlier when we were looking at it, it was about 200. Now it's almost up to 700 now. Yeah, this should do just fine. This is normal what happens. If you've ever worked in the traditional finance world, when a company does some sort of announcement like that, we can see similar behavior. So, all right. So with that, like I said, got idea for the DAO, got idea for how to manage that. I hope you guys like the idea on managing it. I'm happy to take input there. And from there, once that's done, I have a plan of continuing that on to provide an automated economic assessment or analysis platform that I'll be doing, named under Moloch.finance. And so then that way, we'll be able to go ahead. What the fuck just happened there? Why did all my liquidity pool tokens disappear? Oh. Okay. Something happened on the site. So, alright, that would kind of make sense. It ran into some giant fucking error. Oh well. Moving on. Alright, so, that is where, in talking about all of this, I was going to be going through GEKKO. So, before I move on, any further questions? Any problems? If not, then I will go ahead and just advance on into... Yeah, Zapper.5 seems to be shitting the bed right now. That's odd. Or that, or maybe they're freaked out by my wallet. It is a weird one. I got a lot of odd stuff in there. Alright. Now, as I was saying... Yep, now it's back and everything looks normal. Yep, they just had a weird little error. Okay. So yeah, YFBETA, I still believe in the code. I still like the developer. I still like the community. I'm definitely going to be talking to you guys on my first round. Haven't launched anything yet, so there is nothing to buy, to be clear. That is where things are going to be coming out. And I already have a kind of pre-sale promotion where I am going to be taking some folks from that have watched a previous stream that I did earlier, late at night, and we'll be doing kind of a weird little like pre-sale on that for anyone that was there, has been shilling, has really helped out. I'm looking at including the YFBETA crowd in there and managing that too. Actually, might be taking a look at YFLink, so let me see about leaving that open. And for anyone else, yeah, by all means, let me put it this way. Go out, shill the Discord, give out the link. Go ahead and get your own link. When you go ahead and click here and you go invite people, go ahead and generate your own link, because when you do that, that gives you your own link, I think. I'll have to double check that. But I'm not doing like an invite contest or anything. I'm just going to say that for anyone that is in the Discord and has provided a small donation, any tiny donation. I'm not setting an amount, literally setting tiny anything, any minuscule amount that you like. But I do want to give that little hurdle of people that have actually listened, people that are actually engaged and would actually like to get involved, is you send a tiny little donation and send me on Discord the transaction hash so I can verify. Up until Friday midnight, I will put you on a pre super secret squirrel sale that I'll let you guys know about, and we'll get this thing going. Now understand, again, so you're not surprised, I'm setting this expectation now as I go forward. My plan is to implement a CIA. Alright. I don't know why anyone said CIA. I don't like the CIA. They're definitely a rogue criminal organization posing as a government agency. Oh, wait, now we'll watch the channel get shut down. Yes, you did donate, by all means. I have many of those. I have many of those messages. I am perfectly fine with spam. If you want to continue spamming it at me, by all means. If you do it in the Discord or on Twitter, I'll have a nice, easy way to keep track of that. Over the week, I'll be going through that list and adding in the roles. The worst that will happen is Saturday morning, I will commit time to go through that list and make sure everyone gets that special pre-sale donator role. And again, I'm not setting an amount, a tiny thing, literally sending $1, I don't give a shit. I just want to add that little hurdle such that it comes from people that are really interested and engaging. I'm fine with the joke, alright, I'm joking too, like the CIA is a rogue criminal organization posing as a government agency. Because, they're totally not guy who's listening to us. The CIA is totally an upstanding, responsible, reasonable organization that we have total faith in running our government and managing everything. All right, so moving on. I am kind of tickled that Rose McGowan, is that the one? Yeah, that she seems to have kind of snapped over losing her faith in the Democrats and then discovering a few other things. So I'm fully expecting Rose McGowan to go completely batshit insane now. Sympathies to her. Good luck. Not everyone gets to know this stuff. I've been raised as a Discordian most of my life, so to be honest, most of what you guys go on about with conspiracy theories and QAnon and all that stuff is kind of my religion, so thank you for joining. I'm personally Church of the Subgenius, and actually been founding my own sect there. I'm also launching a new Discordian sect. We're calling it the Mandalorians. We'll be like like the rest of the Discordians, just far more militant. Would really like to start using the First Amendment to protect the Second Amendment. You know, just reasons. No particular issue that's come up. I got a feeling like that might be useful at some point in the future. That's all. Probably going to be launching an ICO for that too. If you guys are interested in a Mandalorian church, let me know. Definitely need a third board member at least. So, with that, I got a lot of fucking projects I've been working on. Because from there, WWGI1WGA, I'm sorry. I am not sure what that's referring. I mean, I'm sure it's the what would, and then I'm not sure of the rest, but cool. Thank you for the joke. Appreciated. Grams of money. You're awesome. Everyone here is awesome. You're all great. I really appreciate the feedback, the support. That's another point I wanted to make, is that in all the donations, they've really, really helped. Okay, well, thank you that you're throwing it at any of my ICOs. I appreciate that. I will, in this, I want to say that the donations that I've gotten have been really, really helpful in securing interest from other groups, because every time anyone was even... Coyote.eth. I accept tips at Coyote.eth. Now, to be clear, this is not like the ICO launch or anything. I am not asking for much of anything right now. I don't want to... Let me put the name in there because I spell it weird. I'm not making any promises right now. I'm just setting that tiny, tiny hurdle that anyone that is in the Discord, my Discord server, that has been linked here, and I'll link that again in the chat, and anyone that has sent even a donation of any amount, I do not care how much, any amount, and that then messaged me on Discord with the transaction hash so I can verify, I will go ahead and place you on the list for like pre-sale thing. We'll have our own secret little super secret squirrel sale, and you guys can buy some of the tokens, and then we'll continue doing rounds of funding. And since I want to launch an EFI DAO token, then we'll be making sure that when you guys buy in, anytime that we need to do a round of funding and sell more of the tokens, none of your value will be diluted. So if you buy in early and we have to go through multiple rounds and that token has to go through multiple positive rebases, so be it. Now, I still got to work out the math for figuring out all of that, but I'm pretty sure that I can handle that because there's a lot of code there, and I've been looking at all the various EFI tokens out there. I have been talking with the AmpleSense group. I've been talking with Whaler DAO about their token. That's another one. Surprise! It's public. The documentation is publicly out there, so technically you can take a look. But Whaler DAO is also launching their own EFI token called Tree. So go take a look there. Take a look at Whaler DAO. So yeah, GEKKO. Let's go ahead and dig into GEKKO. Now that I've talked about my idea, everyone likes it. Everyone's down. But yeah, let's dig into GEKKO and take a look at the code here, because people were curious. Now, I have heard that something akin to a rug pull happened. So that is where, as I always like to do with any of these things, I like to take a look at the transactions. So, let's go ahead and load up GEKKO in bloxy.info. And give me a second to load it up, and I will drop the link to what I'm looking at. So if you want to take the same sort of look, you can. Yep, there we go. Here is the link in the chat if you want to see that yourself. I love this tool. I love this tool. So what we have here is Bloxy Reports. Yep, ERC20 token. We've got various transactions going on. There's doing a various calls for swapping out and buying, contract creation, transfer ownership, all of that stuff. Cool. If we take a look at the address statistics, let's see what's been going on here. Oh, and the address graph. Sorry, let's take a look at the address graph. You know, I really wish we could... Yeah, I really wish they had better, because, like, I'm sorry, that's not a full screen. That's not more real estate, that's just this thing done bigger. God, I hate that. Alright, anyway, so, where are we in the address graph? We have some from an exchange, that's fine, that's it on the exchange doing its transfers. That's some smart contracts that have been doing some of that work. And you know what? I'll open up a copy of this and we'll open up the token graph at the same time, so we can have those side by side and kind of do a comparison between the two to see what's going on here. Because like I said, I heard supposedly there was a rug pull on this, which is really funny because I was about to go live and do a like post-launch as fast as I could analysis on this, but then I got pulled into various meetings of people that were interested, and then I got sucked into a bunch of stuff, and then someone told me that there seemed to have been a rug pull on it, so I don't know what the hell happened. Anyway, on the token graph, wow, okay, so we had them launch, we had them... Yeah, that was pretty much it. In the token graph, it seems to have all gone to one address. That is interesting. Alright. Weird that there's not anything else. Let's go ahead and pull up the graph for that token, for that contract here. That's really odd. Because normally, like, for example, if I do YFBETA compared to this, then YFBETA had what looked like a perfect launch. You know, as reasonable as you can expect from a single person or two-person team doing that launch, you know? There were minutes between the steps, but that's because a human being has to execute the various steps. Alright, so here. All the tokens went to this wallet, which would have been the one that created it. I'm supposing. That's interesting. We have in the token graph here for GEKKO Farm, it's been going out to multiple individuals. Also kind of interesting that I don't have in the address graph any major owners or anything, you know? So it doesn't look like there's been a big transfer between any one structure. So yeah, that's really, really interesting there. Now, I'm thinking the token graph might be having a problem because it should be showing relationships between here. This amazing tool is bloxy.info. It's the link right above your question. In this case, it provides interesting information on how things are structured, provides the nice graphs. I really, really love this tool. So yeah, we can see here that there's the transfer. It had all of its tokens. Yeah, there's been 414 transfers so far. In the various transfer flows, we can even organize this by, yeah, it is already organized by amount. So you can see that, holy fucking shit, that's a lot of goddamn tokens. Now, mind you, in the creation, to be clear here, this is the blockchain for the deployment, all right? So this is the blockchain deploying that. The blockchain deploys it to this contract, or to this address. This address, it looks like, then transferred them over here. So what is that one? And then transferred the huge amount over here. So let's take a look. That looks, with the little circle window, or circle arrows there, that indicates that that's a decentralized exchange. So that would be they went off to a decentralized exchange. They sent it to Uniswap. All right, so that's fine. That's where you can see this is a decentralized exchange with the protocol Uniswap version 2. So, all right, so it looks like the... Whoops, we were over here and here. All right, so yeah. Looks like this wallet generated the contract. Then that wallet transferred a significant portion of the tokens over to this other wallet, but not quite all of them. Oh, no, wait, sorry. I think no. Yeah, not quite all of them. Looks like there were a few extra that they held on to. So like I said, this one created it. Let me make sure that I have that correct one here. We can look at their balances. So they have 90,000 GEKKO. So whoever launched this they received 90,000 GEKKO, and then they sent out 9,000 GEKKO, if I'm reading this correctly. Let me go ahead and look at the transactions here. So yes, they received, they received 90 million GEKKO from the system. They transferred 100 million GEKKO. How the fuck did they get 100 million? Is that right? Huh. How the fuck did they get more coins? How did that happen? Because this system should be saying that they got, or this, if I'm reading it correctly, should be saying 90 million. Then this same wallet address here, pardon, I'll clean this up a little bit since we identified it. Over here, let's double check some of the transaction hashes, shall we? So we've got the transaction hash for the creation. That is showing... Alright, so yeah. That's showing that they got the 90 million GEKKO from there, and then... okay, that's it. There was a burn immediately. That explains a fair bit. Okay, so they got a bunch of GEKKO, and then a bunch of GEKKO was immediately burned by GEKKO. All right? So, no, GEKKO is not my ICO. No. GEKKO's not mine. I'm not claiming GEKKO. I have nothing to do with GEKKO. I am completely independent, freelance auditor working for Tips Online. I have no direct relationship with any of the projects that I review. At most, when I find something that I have time to talk to the dev beforehand, I simply inform them that I will be doing a live audit by decompiling their code off the blockchain. And I offer an extended invitation that if they would like to have a representative come on my stream while I'm doing that, I am happy to welcome them. But I accept no funds from any teams that I audit. I refuse any sort of compensation from any developer involved on any project that I audit. If a community member... I ask you not to send me any of the tokens that I audit, but I understand that's going to happen. And there's probably at some point somebody's going to try to impugn my honor on this by dumping a bunch of tokens on here and claiming that I got paid. I saw a guy in the YFBETA chat claiming that he saw a transaction of me getting YFBETA from and before I did this and after I did this. I pointed out to please post the transaction hash of where you saw this, and then I posted the Bloxy and Etherscan links to my wallet to say, please tell me where this occurred. And then that's when it came to my attention that someone had sent me 0.1 YFBETA. Okay, if you think I'm getting paid off for 0.1, you're fucking insane. Second, it came in well after everything was going on, after this thing had launched. And two, I immediately sold that. So I've decided that if I ever get anything like that, I will either sell it or I will get on a stream and ask you guys what I should do with it. That, or when the audit DAO rolls in, I'll just contribute it over there. So anyway, yeah. So that's what happened is they created what looks like insane, actually not even 90 million. It looks like 90,000 million. There's a lot of fucking tokens here. Jesus. I'm not sure there need to be that many tokens, honestly. I swear. So yeah, they got that. And then there was that transaction over here. So to be clear, this thing, what the hell are you? Oh, we can also look at block query. Oh, god damn it. Why do you not open new windows, and why do you do it in such a way that I have to, like, I can't right-click on this thing and get to the BigQuery Explorer, but, oh, we'll see that in a second when I click that over here. Alright, anyway. So, yeah, there's that. We have then this other transaction. So we have here, there's the developer, there it is going to the developer. Then the developer sent it on, yeah, it looks like this has also then had distributions from exchanges. So they sent it to, if I remember correctly, this was the Uniswap exchange. Yep, that was them sending it to Uniswap, so that's perfectly fine. Go on, close that. Thank you. And then, yeah, that was them sending it to Uniswap again. Or sure, from there. Okay, so that seems to be reasonable. I'm wondering how the fuck this guy got a bunch of goddamn tokens. Yeah, and that's where I was... Yeah, I think I was misreading this, where this thing has 90 million. Oh, God, I hate how fucking Europeans write their numbers. Sorry, I'm not like, don't hate you guys. I hate how you write your numbers with the commas. And, anyway, alright, so here is that transaction. This showed it went to the Uniswap router. Oh, okay, that was them depositing the liquidity. Alright, so no problem there. They were depositing 55 ETH with the various tokens. We can see the execution trace here, and I apologize that they write that so fucking small. Here, I'll make that bigger. And so, yeah, that's where we can see that they were adding the liquidity ETH. They were getting the pair, creating the pair. Yeah, this is all perfectly fine, and sending the fee and everything out. So, all right, this was the initial deposit of liquidity there. So what was this one? This one that got 8.6 thousand GEKKO, that one also transferred it to Uniswap. So this looks like it was just a massive deposit of GEKKO into Uniswap. Oh, sorry, they were trading tokens for ETH. Oh! Okay, I think I found our rug pull. Alrighty then. Ha ha! We are on a trail, boys. I think I got the fucking scent. I won't be able to figure out who these people are, obviously, because wallet addresses are anonymous. But I think I found that. Because, yeah, if they were swap exact tokens for ETH, and they sent in this giant fucking amount, I think I gotta move the decimal point 18 places to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18. Alright, so it looks like they sent just shy of the allotment of tokens that was deposited to Uniswap into Uniswap to get the Ethereum out. Nice. Oh, there's the ETH site. Yeah, we'll go look at them later because I'm just curious about the WETH site. Not that they're involved or anything. I haven't looked at the WETH site before. So there we go. All right. So yeah, the panic and immaturity. Yeah, I think you're generally right in that case. I don't want to knock anyone in the community, but yeah, I will agree. There were a lot of noobs in there. I don't say that to say it's bad. We should vote a decentralized route. All right, well, I don't know why you might have gotten banned there. I'm not sure what the hell's going on, but either way, yeah. In this case, I agree that, yeah, there was a bit of a freak. out as a lot of new investors got involved in Uniswap, or sorry, in YFBETA, and a lot of those initial investors might have had a bit of a problem there to try to handle it. And that they might not have been used to the wild swings. They might have considered this being their first big buy, especially since I said it was good, at least as far as the code. Again, I'm looking at GEKKO right now. I'm looking at GEKKO, right? But I'm just commenting on the question there, like the immaturity of the community. Like, yeah, okay, I can see what you're getting at. I don't want to make it sound too rude or harsh or anything. But yeah, I can understand a lot of people freaked out or might not be familiar on how to manage such things. Mind you, there's a lot of stuff that can go on in a launch. There's a lot of different decisions, so it's all pros and cons. All right, so yeah, in here, this, I think we found our GEKKO, our rug pull. It was for this wallet. So here, let me go ahead and pull that up directly. But yeah, in here we can see that, yep, there's where they sold a shit ton of GEKKO for a crap ton of ETH, and then looks like they tried to buy back some GEKKO and then sold back some GEKKO. Looks like they've been buying GEKKO back and forth, but I'm very concerned about this transfer right here, because looking at that looks like they had, holy shit. All right, so there's the decimal point there. All right, yeah, there's the decimal point there. And so they had 8,900,000,000 GEKKO. And on the 9/7 UTC time. So keep in mind this isn't like our time zone. But yeah, at 9/7 21:59 UTC, that they dumped 8,900,000,000. Because, yeah, that's, you know what, hold on. Be absolutely sure I'm fucking reading that right, because god damn it. It's tiny, and it's the one thing that it doesn't make bigger. Yep, that's it. There it is, boys. That's the amount they sold. 8,900,000,000 GEKKO was dumped right here. Here is the transaction hash, if anyone would like to have that. That's the link to the transaction hash for that particular wallet. Here is the link to the Bloxy site for that particular wallet. Hey, you're very welcome. I'm glad you like the live streams. I'm glad everyone's getting value out of this. I enjoy doing it. I mean, a doge on the hunt is a happy doge. And if I get to hunt scammers and assholes that are ruining this industry for us, all the better. In fact, doing all of this is what inspired me to do the audit now, because I thought, you know what? Two things. One, you guys got such value of the audits, but I'm only one doge. I can't scale this out and do that much more. More needs to get done, hence why I want to automate the process with the DAO and the product we're going to launch. That's where I like doing this. I enjoy it. I'm working purely for tips. So again, if you like what I'm doing, by all means, send me a tip. The tips have been wonderful in ensuring that I understand that there's the proper feedback and appreciation of what I'm doing. That also, I've been using the tips as to demonstrate community interest to people for my project. And that's really helped, because I've gone to some traditional finance people, some traditional development people, described the project to them. Many thought it was absolutely brilliant and they want to get in. Some were a little more hesitant because they weren't sure there would be a revenue model there. And then when I showed them that through the tips, I had gotten several $1,000s in 2 days from people saying, we like what you do, please make this thing a reality, I decided it needed to get done. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't care who gets involved. If I have to do this myself, I'll write the entire thing beginning to end on my own. and not bother getting anyone else involved, but I would really like to get more people involved. I want as many DAOs as possible involved. I want as many projects as possible involved. I want to make this the Apache Software Foundation and the alternative to government regulation. I want us to avoid government regulation, and historically, just do pre-sales. I will do the pre-sale, but patience. Thank you for being patient. I understand the eagerness. Please don't lose heart, but I want to make sure that I do this properly. I've seen too many DAOs, too many projects fall flat because they didn't design things properly from the beginning. So I apologize that it might seem take a while, but I want to make sure that I design this properly. I want to make sure that I organize the DAO properly. I want to be able to come back to you guys with proposals on how that would be organized, what platforms we'll use to make sure that you're satisfied with that. And then we'll get the whole thing rolling, do our round of funding, get it going. I will make a coin, but to be clear, my coin is not going to be a currency, and it's not going to be a financial instrument. My coin is going to be a DAO coin. It's going to be intended for voting, and that voting mechanism is intended to help manage a non-profit, decentralized auditing service. We're intending to automate that as much as possible, so that way we can properly scale and anyone can use it. But to be clear here, for anyone looking on that and wanting to get in, I'm not expecting, you can trade the coin, obviously, I'm sure it'll have some value, but it's intended purely to give people voting rights on how the audit service will operate and what we'll be doing, like what we'll decide on is good. So yes, I'm going to be launching a coin. I'm not going to be launching a financial instrument. It's not intended as currency or trade. Likely, the only utility it's going to have is to vote, and the only thing it's going to be voting on is whether or not, on like how the audit service is run and organized. So with that, I appreciate all the interest. I appreciate everyone like being really gung-ho on digging into this. Very excited that all of you guys want to throw money at me. So again, I will close off because we've gone through this a bit. It's been a few hours, and I do need to write proposals for people. It's dangerous though. No rebase elastic. It's dangerous though. Okay, so if you were talking about rebasing being elastic, then I will say that, rebasing being dangerous, yes, it can be. That's what happened with, which fucking coin was that screwed up their rebase function and produced a whole bunch. Can't remember, but I'll work that out. What will my coin supply be? Alright, so this is where I'm probably going to turn some people off, especially wherever. Who was it? Yeah, you Project Oxus. You're probably not going to like this when I say it, but I will say that, one, I've been working in traditional finance development for, Jesus, what is it now? About 25 years. I've been doing it since I was 15, ever since I dropped out of high school. I've been working in security for most of that time. In fact, my first work in IT and security was actually doing physical penetration testing for banks. I got hired and paid to rob banks officially by the security department of the banks. And that was it. I was literally supposed to go and try to figure out how to rob the bank. And I'd go rob banks. And then I'd give them back the money and say, this is how I stole your money. Or whatever the hell else it is I was stealing. So that was always interesting. I don't know what the coin supply will be. And the reason I'm not sure, it'll probably be very, very small at the beginning. And it's going to be very, very small at the beginning is because despite what Project Oxus has said, and I understand they can be very dangerous, I really like elastic currency. I think that elastic currency is the theory of relativity for economics. I think it's going to change everything. From all of my economic models, an elastic currency is the only economic system that will survive something like asteroid mining. And I say that because you might have heard stuff out there. It's like, oh, if we pull an asteroid of iron into Earth's orbit and start mining it, or we start mining it and shipping it back, suddenly the entire fucking economy is destroyed because we've just dumped more iron than anyone can possibly consume. And that's before we even get to the fact that, we could literally drag more gold than exists on the planet, and we could dump it on the economy all at once. So asteroid mining will destroy the global economy, and the interstellar economy, if there is one. Elastic currency, though, can account for that. Elastic currency can survive asteroid mining. So in this case, can I explain to a Chad? I'm not sure explain what to a Chad, if you can clarify. Well, one, thank you for saying that it's very important what I do. If you would clarify what you'd like me to explain to a Chad, I will happily do that. But in this case, I'm proposing that I'm going to launch what I think will be, at least now, because I don't know of any other that does it, but be the first EFI DAO token. Because, oh, well, thank you. I'm glad that you like EFI and glad that you think the future. I really do. I am very bullish on EFI. Let's put it this way. As soon as I read the Ample document and understood what Ample was doing, I sold all of my traditional assets. I no longer own any stocks. I no longer own any gold. I no longer own any silver. I own no CDs, no T-bills, no nothing. And I moved everything over into crypto. And I dumped about 60% of my portfolio into a suite of EFI tokens. So let me explain what the elastic currency means, and then I will explain how I can have an elastic DAO token and why that I think is going to be a good thing. So the point of elastic currency, and this is where I'll kind of close off here because we've been going for a bit, and I know the long streams get tiring for everyone. And like I said, I do have proposals I need to write, and I have to present stuff. Got big meetings throughout the week and Friday and stuff, so I want to get things ready. But that's where. So to close up with, elastic tokens and Ample. Yep, gonna do this. So with Ample and all of these elastic tokens, they are attempting to address a shortcoming in both fiat and cryptocurrency. So currently, we have fiat. We know the problems with fiat. The Fed can print money whenever the fuck they want, and even if we do trust that they're printing money for good reasons, they don't have an accurate set of data to be able to know how much money to print, if any. It's also coming with a crap ton of debt when it's printed, which the debt is really the problem. The printing of the money is a bit of a problem. The debt is the critical problem. Well, cryptocurrencies have attempted to address that in a few ways. Bitcoin did it by having a static supply. It cannot go up. It cannot go down. There is only so much Bitcoin. There will only ever be so much Bitcoin. But as we're seeing with Bitcoin, with its rise in price, that can lead to something called hyperdeflation. Now, I never really liked the terms going back and forth, inflation, deflation, because you'd think, oh, inflation, my currency is going up, deflation is going down, but it's actually the other way around. It's talking about what happens when you have too much currency in the supply or too little currency in the supply. And so what Bitcoin has been suffering for a while now, and they'll continue suffering as they go through more and more halvings up until it actually ends, is they'll end up suffering from hyperdeflation. Hyperdeflation, because we're familiar with inflation. You know, they print more money, your money is worth less than it was before. You can buy less of it because there is more currency. The static supply works reasonably well, but a static supply can still suffer from hyperdeflation. Hyperdeflation is where the value of your currency is going up faster than it can be spent. And if the value of currency is going up faster than it can be spent, then that means that the best investment strategy you have is to just hold on to your money. Don't do anything with it. Just hold it. And it's like, that's terrible. So, in this case, some tokens have tried to address that by having inherently deflationary tokens. All right, that's reasonable. That's a counter, but that's not the whole thing. Because if you suffer from hyperdeflation, eventually the market can stagnate. Thank you. Thank you very much if you love it. I appreciate it. As the usual things, like, subscribe, go ahead and post the links on YouTube, let people know. Go ahead and send donations at CYOTEE to send any donations to help me keep going and to make sure that we have proper interest in everything that's going on. On top of that, I'll go ahead and drop the link again here just to be sure. So yeah, send some tips. I will say the tips have been helpful in showing others that there's an interest in my project to go ahead. But to get back to EFI and the points here, the reason thank you. Like, spread the links everywhere, let people know. But with this, that's where with EFI attempts to solve both problems. It attempts to solve the hyperinflation problem and attempts to solve the hyperinflation or hyperdeflation problem. It does that by adjusting the supply. It can actually... Good night. I will catch you all. You can catch up later. But that's where we will... What it can do is create more tokens and reduce the number of tokens of the total supply. Now, that can be a bit dangerous, because if you were to expand the tokens by just adding more to the supply, then you would be diluting everyone's assets, and you don't want to do that. And if you try to decrease the number of tokens without adjusting anyone's balances, something could, like, mathematically go wrong. So, this is where chatting more... Oh, yes, by all means, go to sleep. We will chat more. I'll be catching up on my messages. So, as I was saying, what Ample has innovated on, and what all the other tokens doing this have innovated on, is that they have introduced what's called a rebase function. Now, rebase is actually a term for how to manage data and such, so that's why it's got the name that it does. But essentially what they're doing with rebase is that they are adjusting the supply. But at the same time they adjust the supply, they are also adjusting everyone's balances in the token. Now, you might seem weird because most people think of cryptocurrency as I have my wallets, my tokens are in my wallet. Technically not. I can get a whole conversation about that in a moment, but technically not. Technically, your balance of the token is stored in the token contract itself. So, what they do when they identify that the price of the token, in this case Ample or Rample or Based or the upcoming Mark token, the benchmark protocol, the upcoming Tree token from Whaler DAO, with all of that, what they do is when they need to adjust the supply, they also adjust your balance. Now, that may sound very scary and difficult, but what they do is they figure out what percentage of the economy you had previously. And so they look and say, for example, I'll just keep the number small to keep it easy. Let's say that Ample, which is trying to hit the price point of the 2019 dollar, if they start off with, say, 100 tokens and you have 10, you have 10% of the economy. You own 10% of the Ample economy. If the price goes up through trading, now that price can go up through, in addition to market cap, it can also go up through active trading, what people are willing to trade for. In that calculation, if it goes up to 2, now it actually goes in a smooth curve down, but I'll just do a big jump to $1 to make my point. Just understand that it takes a while, it takes about 10 days over a period of time for it to move towards that price point. So hopefully we get a nice smooth curve. But if, say, the price of Ample goes up to $2, then that means that we need more coins to get to that $1 price point. See, previously we had, if it was $1 and the market cap was $100 and it was trading at $1 and we had 100 tokens, we had a complete parity. On the other hand, if the market cap or the price or volume push that price, and it's a function of all three really, partly because the market cap is an indicator of the value of the token. It's not actually included in the calculation, but you, as a human trying to figure out what's going on, you can look at the market cap as kind of an indicator as to whether or not this thing's doing well and will go up. But that is where, in that process, if the volume or the trading price pushes it up to, say, $2, then we have a problem. We have, each token is worth $2, we only have 100 of them, and so what it does is it expands the supply. Now again, it goes in a smooth curve over time, but just to simplify the explanation, it would say, okay, I'm 100 tokens, I'm worth $2, therefore I need to be 200 tokens in the supply in order to get back down to $1. So you having 10 and having 10% of the Ample economy, it will go in and say, all right, I'm going to change the total supply to 200, and then I'm going to change your supply to 20. And so, yes, EFI is definitely going to change the world. And so you haven't lost any of your value. You have the same amount of value. At 100 tokens, When you owned 10 and it was worth $1, you had $10. When it drove up to $2 and you had 10 tokens, you had $20 worth of ample. When they increased the supply to 200, they also increase your balance to 20. So you still have $20 worth of ample. You still own 10% of the economy. It's just now you have greater liquidity. You have more tokens to be able to spend. Now, this might seem kind of pointless because you're like, well, okay, now you just made the thing worth $1 again, and you've given me more, but you've reduced the price, so my value in it is roughly the same. But consider here that if this is actually used in the market, the value of other tokens hasn't changed. So if we apply the Big Mac index to something like ample, if you say it costs me 1 ample to buy a Big Mac, okay, I've got 10 ample, there's 100 tokens, I have 10% of the economy, and it costs me 1 ample to buy a Big Mac. Done. Well, the prices goes up, which is an indicator that the market cap has gone up, meaning there's more value in the token, and the supply goes up, and your balance goes up, then you still hold on to all of that value. You still have 10% of the economy. You still have that $20 that you had previously. It's just now no longer in 10 tokens. It's now in 20 tokens. And consider that the Big Mac still costs 1 ample. So in a weird way, ample and other elastic currencies have figured out to make UBI work that isn't fucking stupid and communist and will destroy the economy. Because if UBI ever actually comes out, we're all fucked. Like, I would recommend anyone, whatever stimulus check you got, whatever stimulus check might be coming up, just fucking dump that shit into crypto. Get the fuck out of fiat currency, period. Like, I wouldn't even recommend holding it as a safety measure. Like, I am done. I do not have any more fiat except what I have to occasionally sell to go back and forth. Thank you, I agree. It is genius. It's not my idea. It's the Amples guys' idea. They're beautiful. They're magnificent. Genius people. But yeah, I like the idea too. I think it's going to go everywhere. A lot of people don't, but the people that don't like it, every time I've talked to them to explain why they don't like it, it's because they either don't understand math, so they don't understand how the rebates could work, or they don't understand economics, and they think the problem with the Fed is that it prints money. Not that it prints money without really knowing if more money is needed, and that they attach debt to the money that they print. So, as far as I can tell, the only people that don't like elastic currency and don't think it's good are fucking idiots that don't understand basic math using percentages and or don't understand economics and understand that you do need to be able to print more money sometimes. And this is the most fair and equitable way to go through it. A lot of people told you Ample is a scam. Well, those people are fucking stupid. I know you know they're stupid, but it's like, those people are fucking stupid. If they think it's a scam, they're fucking idiots. I've looked at the code. I've confirmed that they do not have a way to adjust the supply manually. They do have a bit of governance still in there where they can adjust the rate at which that moved through. Or they did for a while have that so they could adjust that rate. But yeah, they're fine. So yeah, I'll go through the questions here as we kind of close out. Then I'll give a summary and I will get back to work on the project for you guys. So one, yes, thank you for your appreciation that you need honest people in here. I appreciate that you feel that I'm honest. I'm doing my best to make that forthright with as anonymous as all of this can be. I mean, I'll show everyone my little play wallet, experimentation thing, wherever the hell that went to. Yeah, over here. Yeah, I'll show my little, play experimentation and tip wallet here, but I'm just going to lay out for you. If you see a trader that tries to claim, oh, you guys can look at my wallet and you can see everything that I'm doing and you can trust me. Okay, I've got 8 different fucking wallets that I all use for different things, and I'm very studious in making sure that they don't get relationships between each other, and I go through various mechanisms when I need to obfuscate and hide those trades. So, yeah, knowing someone's wallet doesn't mean a goddamn thing. This is bullshit. You can look at my wallet, you can see the transactions. I could be getting paid as a shill on some other wallet entirely, so you have no fucking idea. I try not to. I try to lay that out there, but I'm just being clear here. We got no fucking idea. I will be getting to that. So, moving down the list. So, yes, thank you for appreciating that. I thank you for appreciating that I explained that, whales can't eat away at YFBETA, so that's good. Appreciate it. And your thanks for explaining Ample. And yeah, explain it with other coins. You probably saw me in chats elsewhere doing that. So by all means, if you have Ample, and by all means, I would say make the profit off the staking rewards now. But really, the best thing that can be done with Ample and other rebased currencies is to pair them with as many other tokens that are sufficient volume and market cap in the markets as possible, and that thing will drive it right up. So, working down the list. Let's see here. If I seem to have missed your question or scrolled off the screen, by all means, repost it. Yep, EFIs are going to change the world. I think they're absolutely amazing. They're going to take over. Can they do this with Polkadot? Yes, they can do it with Polkadot because Polkadot is compatible with Ethereum. It will run the Ethereum VM, meaning that Ethereum tokens can operate on Polkadot just fine, and Polkadot is intended to be a cross-chain technology, much akin to Chainlink. So Polkadot, Chainlink, both of them will work just fine with this, as far as I know. I will have to dig into the tech and confirm if there's some sort of problem, but the fact that Polkadot says that they're going to run the Ethereum VM, or at least be compatible with it, means that this will work just fine. Dot and eGold, something different. I will throw out there EGLD. I'll take a look at EGLD, but I will say sell your fucking gold. Do not have any goddamn gold, period. Like, get that shit out of your life entirely. Mostly because this is kind of the fucking problem here. Oh, Elrond. Yes, I've heard of Elrond. Elrond is good. I like their technology. I'm going to have to dig in a bit more to see what's going on there. But yeah, Elrond is good. As far as gold, sell your fucking gold. Because apart from the big players in the market, if you look over at Buffett, I know we don't like the guy because he didn't like crypto before and he said Bitcoin was stupid. So normally we said fuck him. But he's still a big player and it's useful to look at what he's doing. Sorry, the Elrond thing just kind of reminded me of like, oh yeah, right. Let me tell people about gold. As far as I can tell, I don't want to get too conspiratorial about things, but I find it very, very convenient that last year, right about the time several audit firms realized that a bank headquartered in Wuhan, and this is like, I think September, October last year, they discovered that a gold reserve bank in Wuhan had been doping the gold. They had been mixing their gold reserve into an alloy of, I think it was nickel and copper to try to maintain the color. I'd have to dig into it a little bit to see further. But yeah, they created a gold alloy with their gold, re-smelted it into bars, and then claimed that was the, pure gold, or as close to pure gold, because pure gold is actually too soft to handle, and sold that out. The problem is no one can quite figure out buy crypto with gold. The only thing that no one can quite figure out is exactly how much they handled. They can confirm that at least 4% of the world's gold supply has been altered, because that's effectively what this, ran through this bank. So at the very least, 4% of the world's gold supply is completely and utterly fucked, and you can't trust it. Difficult to attain exactly how much more gold in the world supply is fucked because it's difficult to track down. And from all the projections, it would look like it would cost more money than exists in the EU GDP and market cap, depending on which calculation you want to use, to be able to audit all the gold in the world. And that's what it would take. So I find it very convenient that around September or October, it was discovered that China, that a Chinese bank, and you don't get to be a major business in China without being owned by the state, if not outright effectively, had been discovered to be doping their gold supply and fucking things up. Shortly after that, surprise, it seems that a virus gets out. It starts off just down the street from a viral research lab. That's also convenient. And then shortly after that, from all the reports, it looks like China decides to then quarantine that area, start sealing people inside buildings as part of the quarantine. I'm sure that, removed a lot of the people that could have testified on the matter. And then they've been having massive problems with flooding and some dams, and they just so happen to relieve that pressure by releasing water into Wuhan, where you got like 66-foot floods. So it sounds like China just fucked the world gold supply, killed everyone that had any knowledge of it, and then literally tried to flush the evidence down the drain. All while shitting on the rest of the world at the same time. I'm not saying there's a conspiracy, it's just a very convenient series of events that made me sell all of my fucking gold. And then when I noticed that Buffett was also dumping his gold reserves and bought a fucking gold mine, it's like, I'm not the only one that came to this fucking conclusion here, boys. So, the US dollar is fucked. Gold is fucked. The stream may get flagged, I know, so download it, save it. But yeah, the US dollar's fucked, gold is fucked, everything else is correlated to the US dollar or gold and tends to track with that. So the world economy is in line for a major serious fucking that it does not want. An unsolicited fucking, and I think we know the term for that one. So yeah, get the fuck out of fiat. Don't have any US dollars except what you need to hold on to, like pay your daily expenses. Don't have any fucking gold because everyone's gonna find out that's fucking worthless anytime now. It's just a matter, like, I can tell from watching the trading going on, you can tell that all the big players are just like, shh, don't tell anyone while we get rid of this shit. Hopefully we can mine more gold before anyone realizes what's happening. So yeah, I say buy obviously into crypto, but you're already doing that. I'm real bullish on EFI tokens. I absolutely love all the EFI tokens. True Ample, I'm not sure if they were just fucking idiots or they were trying to cover up an exit scam, but they did not have a problem in how they were structured. What was it, SoftLink? I'm trying to remember which one had, like, completely and utterly tanked. The one that tanked, they did it because they fucked up their rebase calculation. And that's why I want to be very, very, very careful about launching my DAO. Because my goal here in launching the DAO token is to have it be an EFI token so that we can print more tokens and release and award tokens to developers that release successful projects under like a time-locked, community-voted to unlock vault after a period of time. So that way we can keep doing rounds of funding in perpetuity, but never dilute your supply. You guys that get in early will always have the same percentage of that overall economy. All right? So, running down the list. Let me see. Can I say anything about Pylon? I'm sorry, let me go back to the list because I got the question about NFTs. NFTs are very interesting. I don't give a shit about the art style of NFTs because I just don't give it. Like, I don't care. To be honest, I have video games. I have a few board games because I'm a big giant fucking gamer. I'm a huge nerd like that. I got a few like knickknacks that are either have like some sentimental value, or I really like those like super degenerate statues. Not because I really give a shit about the degeneracy, but I see it as like this pinnacle of human achievement, that humanity is so prosperous, so affluent, and we've done such a good job in removing all the natural selectors that could limit our population, that we can actually afford to have someone sculpt a naked woman, to then craft that, make a mold of that naked woman, take that mold to a factory, a massive industrialized facility that is designed to mold these things, have it then create resin and injection molds of this naked woman, to then sell on Amazon to degenerates that want to look at a plastic naked woman. That in my mind, like, we've been to the moon and all that, but that right, like, you go to the moon and shit like that because that's good for the survival of the species. That's a good way to get more resources. This, though, naked women statues, naked dude statues, like, all that shit, especially the, like, really weird degenerate stuff that you know most people aren't going to want, that's the pinnacle of human achievement right there. Because we can afford to have people do that, and people can be so wealthy that they can buy it, for fuck's sake. Like, goddamn. All right, anyway. So yeah, I like NFTs. NFTs are good, but I'm really bullish on NFTs when they're being used to wrap information. When they're being used to, like, represent deeds, contracts, non-fungible data. I think NFTs, in fact, I'm really interested in circuits of value, CoVal. because they're working on a project to be able to wrap passwords and encryption keys in an NFT so that then that can be traded securely. So now you could use cryptocurrency as a reliable way to transfer information. And I could say, well, I want to sell you something. Here, as part of our exchange, I can send you the packaged up data in an encrypted archive. And then you can send me the money. And then I can send you the NFT that contains the password to unlock it. And now we don't need an escrow service. Because you have the package of data. That's good. You can send me some of the money, like half of it. I can send you the token back. We could also create automated systems that need passwords. Like, part of my work in like automatically setting up servers and everything is could package them up and sell them online. So like I could have a system that creates a service for you and then transfers the password and access to that service over to why do you last two commenters which no one cares? I'm not sure what that means. Do you last two commenters watch no one cares? I have no idea. Moving on. So yeah, cool. Like I like NFTs, but I like the utility that will be built into NFTs. NFTs are really what's going to make crypto take off because we'll be able to start tokenizing the physical world, at least representing them that way. Okay, heading down. Got the question about NFTs. Best way to sell gold without triggering Taxman. Not sure. Can't give you advice on evading taxes. I will point out though that if you somehow transfer, if I remember correctly, if you somehow transfer, you have to double check to see which ones will allow this, but I would imagine that if you check the law, you should be able to transfer your gold to a reserve that backs a cryptocurrency, get them to give you the tokens that represent that gold. You'll have to check the laws for your jurisdiction, but I'm pretty sure that you're not actually trading anything. You're just moving your gold from one reserve vault to another reserve vault, and this other reserve vault happens to track your gold certificate through a cryptocurrency. And so that technically I don't think would count as a sale or a trade. It would just be a transfer of assets to another depository, which, depending on your jurisdiction, shouldn't trigger a tax event. And then you have gold-backed crypto, and, you know, you can do whatever you want with that. You can send that wherever you want, like, do all kinds of things. You know, I'll just point out there's a bunch of privacy coins like Monero. There's some private ways to send Ethereum. So, you know, I'll leave you up to work out that. But yeah, you know, don't evade your taxes, pay your fair share, all that stuff. I mean, you know, the state loves you, the state's out to take care of you, you should take care of the state, right? I mean, come on, state's your friend. Alright, so, no, China didn't do that to them, China's been doing that to, Muslims. Yeah. So, let's see. Moving down here, I got the Polkadot question, I got the NFT question, I got the Elrond question. Let's see. I keep it too real. I'm sorry, I can't keep it any less real. It's kind of my autism. Like, I am, like, brutally honest. It causes problems in places, but it does also give me, like, a trustworthy, like, a reputation of being a trustworthy guy, because most people's complaint is, like, don't tell them a fucking secret. You can't keep it. Heading on. So, what's my Twitter handle? Twitter handle. That I can definitely do. Twitter handle is here. By all means, like, subscribe, sign up. I take tips. I'm not getting paid by the devs or any other team. Moving on. Alright, so, heading through here. The problem is crypto dumping too when stocks dumping. Yeah, hopefully we can fix that by untethering the two or uncorrelating the two and continue on. So, yeah, I'm thinking yes, thank you very much, Genga, for informing them on how to handle that. So, thank you oh, god damn it, fucking Streamlabs interface. So yeah, here. Thank you very much for assisting. Have a wrench. I apologize if I haven't caught anyone being similarly helpful. I will try to keep up on that and assist. I appreciate that. Yes, also link to Discord to ensure that people have that. Yes, I am saying send any size. I'm not done yet. I'll get into pylons. I'm saying I don't need any size. I'm not saying a size limit. This is not technically a pre-sale. This is not committing you to any number of tokens initially. But, as has been shown numerous times in economics, so if you have a little barrier of entry, a tiny little bit of hurdle to get in, then that actually ends up making people's involvement more forthright. And so that is where I am just setting that little hurdle of any size donation, doesn't care, I don't care what. There it is. Oh, no, wait, sorry. I did the PIL, not pylon. There. Yep. There we are. So, yeah. Yeah, in there, send any size donation just because I want that little hurdle to make sure that people are actually interested. Oh, for fuck's sake, my VPN. Sorry. Or them, I don't know which, but yeah, my VPN. There's a lot of people on its VPN, and so it gets this sometimes. Sorry, I got to identify the motor buses. And I got to try not to run, like, face first into the screen, because, you know, cars, dogs, what do you want? Alright, motor bus. Is that a motor bus? Yeah, it's a motor bus. Sorry, it's a little hard to tell when I can't smell them. So, yeah, you're good. We'll close off with the talk of pylons. I haven't looked at the code to be sure. I have invested a bit. I dumped a tiny bit of comp into them just to see how they operate. See? Kind of because I liked how they were structuring. I will say that taking a glance at their code, I didn't see any giant problems, but I did not go all the way through with like a serious analysis or anything. But my initial thought was, fuck it, you seem interesting enough. Why the hell not? I like StarCraft. I threw a tiny bit at them. I will point out that I haven't seen any serious tokenomics from them in what they're doing or how they're structured. Because, I mean, they're nice and all, but, like, I haven't, you know, their code's up, there's other stuff, but, like, where is your intended tokenomics? You've got a giveaway, you've got, oh, yeah, you've got a Medium post. I don't know why we have pictures of a facility. Alright, whatever. But here, in this, they gave a brief explanation of some of their tokenomics and how that's working. I find it a little odd that they post these pictures of them. I guess maybe they have their own farm. I'm gonna have to dig into that. But, yeah, this is why... with the mining and such, it looks like they're tying the mining to their tokenomics. And so they've been mining out pretty consistently. And in doing that, it looks like they're using this as a way, kind of as a way to handle the mining farm and the artifact vault. So I need to kind of dig into this. But essentially, it comes down to that you're kind of buying pylons to get a investment on the revenue stream through mining. And so that's where they're putting the hardware and the liquidity mining together. So they're doing both. And so I find it very interesting. They haven't posted, as far as I can tell, a serious white paper on everything, digging into all of it. So I'd really like to see that. I'd really like to see what their relationship and the math is in handling that. But so far from their description, I've liked the idea of pylons, but that's why I only dumped a little bit into them to kind of experiment and see what's going on. I'm until I can get a white paper from them or an interview with the devs on like how the fuck they're actually working. I need time to dig seriously into the code to figure that out. Then I'm gonna hold off on saying they're great and all. But by all means, go bug them, ask them, tell them you wanted me to do an interview. I'm happy to read through the code. You can tell them that I'm another dev on all the stuff I'm doing with the free audits and whatnot. I have no problem if you guys go and politely ask devs and other projects if they would like me to audit or interview them or anything like that. So by all means, go right ahead. But initially, I will simply say that I bought some pylons just because the idea sounded good and the code didn't look like shit. It looked decent enough. Their tokenomics are a little bit more complicated, and they haven't released the code for how that's going to be tied in with what they're doing with mining. So I'd really like to see that before I seriously sink money in. But, you know, hey, might as well get in on the ground floor, right? Alright, and StarCraft was alright. I like StarCraft. I kind of got burned out on RTS, but StarCraft is the one that kind of burned me out, so what do you want? Alright, when I get time, can I look at XDAI? XDAI, yes, I will definitely put XDAI on the list and get into what they're doing at some point. So pardon as I'm kind of wrapping up, because I got a lot of work I need to do. No, I am looking for XDAI Crypto. I'm not looking for DAI, thank you. There it is. Alright, I'll dig into XDAI and see how they're doing and get into the tech there. That'll be another video. Trust swap question relates to escrow. Yes, I have heard of Trust Swap and that they are looking to use NFTs for kind of an escrow service. I might be a little bit wrong in remembering that, but yeah, they're kind of the ones in the tech that made me really interested in that and how that's going. Any chance I can show any of the piece of the code in the GEKKO contract that enables the dev to mint as much as he wants? Yeah, I was looking at GEKKO earlier, but you're right, I hadn't actually pulled up the code for GEKKO and hadn't talked about that. Let me see here. Mint? Pardon, it's terrible to search when... There we are. Alright, so we have our mint part. I just need to scroll out so I can search more easily. Yep, there it is. There is the mint method. Hold on, I'll once I find where that was occurring. Yeah. Right there. So right here is that mint address. Now it's an internal address, so we'll have to go dig and see what else it correlates to. But please try to do that. Oh yes, please try to get back to the pylon code. Yes, I will definitely be trying to get back to the pylon code. I'm very interested. Yeah, that's what I wanted to dig into, is see what's going on with BTCH and ETH and all them, or BTC and what they're mining there. Medium, it's a general public blogging platform, basically. A lot of people post stuff on it. Cool. Now that I know that the pylon owner has the biggest ETH mining farm, I'm probably going to dump more into them leading up to that, because, you know, there's a physical site now. So if things go horribly wrong, we can technically trade it back to a human being, which I also like. Trust swap is a scam. Might be. I'm not sure. I gotta dig into that and figure that out. But yeah, this is where, right here, this is quite literally what's happening. Now, it says before token transfer, account amount. So something's happening in this before token transfer where they're transferring a bunch of tokens from, because typically a transfer method, and I'll have to get down to looking at that in just a second here, but most transfer method, or most transfer functions, sorry, I'm a Java developer mostly, so I keep saying method, but most transfer functions, the address to transfer from is the first argument, that's that entry there, and the account to transfer to is the amount there. and then that's the amount that they want to have transferred. And so by transferring the amount from the system, that's them essentially creating more of the token. So, no, I'm not Satoshi, honestly. I know I've gotten that a lot. Like, a lot of people are telling me I'm fucking Satoshi, but I'm very, very flattered, but I'm never gonna fucking cop to that, okay? Thank you. Like, Satoshi Nakamoto is probably the guy at the top of a lot of fucking lists that a lot of people don't get to see to have various things done to them, alright? So, no, I'm not Satoshi, and no, I'm never gonna cop to that, thank you. Jesus fucking Christ. But, in this game, I'm very flattered that people think that. But yeah, I'm gonna have to dig into this before token transfer, but the fact that they're putting in the zero address before that, and then an account to transfer that to, and then the amount, that likely is what was going on here. So let me go take a look at the before transfer token method and confirm that they're following the same structure as most transfer functions in this. That's call of before transfer. So yeah, before token transfer, they are transferring it from an account to a zero address and then burning. But let's see what's going on. Okay, so function before. All right, so this is a virtual function. What this means as a virtual function, that's what that virtual indicator means. This means that as a virtual function, it's not actually its own code. What it is a link to another piece of code elsewhere that is using that. So let me just double check if they've got... No, they don't have that anywhere else. So that means that the before token transfer is likely just an alias for the standard transfer method that is in every token, because that's how the actual token works. Like, that's how blockchain works. And so, yeah, since they're using the same structure as the basic token transfer function, and because technically this is a hook to something else, it's a virtual function that ties to something else, then that would indicate to me that what this is actually doing is just it's a wrapper, essentially. It's an interface to then go talk to the normal transfer method or function that's in any sort of, that's in anything. So there you go. And yep, and the token, oh my fucking god, the token contract, this is it. The token contract is minting and burning. That's all it does. It doesn't even properly... Oh, Jesus. That's... Yeah, I wish I had heard about this during launch when I could have jumped on it. I probably would have... Oh! Huh! That's real interesting. They named their GEKKO token entry as sushi. Holy shit! The GEKKO guy looks like he just copied the sushi code. Man, I wish I had gotten wind of this before they launched and been ready to go when they did launch. Holy shit. I wonder what the reaction would have been when I told them, I'm going to do a live code audit decompiled from the blockchain when you launch. I haven't had anyone freak out yet, but I'm imagining if someone freaks out, I've probably got a good indication of a scam. So yeah, send me all your tips on token launches. In fact, I've got an idea that probably the first thing I'm going to do as an independent project, because I just can, like I don't need to involve anyone with that, is try to just create a site that lists token launches, you know? New tokens before they go out, and try to drive people there to be like, hey, we'll be the ICO listing place. Come over here. We're not like anywhere else. You don't need to talk to us about get listing. Just quite literally upload it and off you go. So long as you've got like a working link to a site, we'll consider that. But, you know. Yeah. They didn't even bother changing the fucking name of the variables, for God's sakes. How goddamn lazy were these assholes? Because right here, see, this is something I've talked about before. This // this is a comment in code. This is a note to other developers looking at the code to try to explain what's going on. Why the fuck would GEKKO leave a comment that says the sushi token? And why the fuck would they have the variable name sushi other than they quite literally just cut and pasted from sushi? So, yeah. Falcon Swap. I have not looked at Falcon Swap. I'm going to have to get into Falcon Swap. I've heard of them. There's so much on the goddamn list, and I really want to get through all of it, but my inability to scale as one DeFi degen Doge online has what prompted me to create the whole audit DAO. So I appreciate all your drive there. It is getting late. I am going to have to call it on further points. I appreciate all the questions. I really hope that I've been able to answer all of them. That's where I will leave with my summary. So, 1, GEKKO, giant fucking scam. The scam was that they copied sushi code, it looks like, had an ability to just mint whatever fucking tokens they wanted, and in minting whatever fucking tokens they wanted, they could do whatever they wanted. And it looks like in the burn operation, part of the burn method, if I go search for that, funnily enough, we gotta go up. Yeah. Funnily enough, in the burn method, weirdly, the burn method burns by taking currency from an account and transferring it to 0. Now, that's normal for a burn operation, but they transfer the tokens out, then they reduce the supply. They subtract that amount from the account that had the supply, and then they reduce the total supply, and then they emit the transfer to record that they completed that transfer. So, yeah, like, I don't... This is bullshit, really? Like I don't... yeah. Oh my fucking god. Safe sushi transfer. Holy shit. These guys didn't do a lick of goddamn work. They just cut and pasted, changed the name of the token, changed the name of the variable, and that was it. They did literally the least amount of work possible to copy and relaunch the sushi code. Good job. Good job, guys. Really good job. You're just beautiful. Jesus fucking Christ. So yeah, tell me about any launches before they go out, please. I'll try to keep up on doing them as they launch so people can track these things. It'll be really, really interesting if when a token launches, there's a giant flood of people in that Discord or wherever it is telling the devs, where's your audit? Get Coyote to audit. Get him in here to audit. And then he's just got like this community full of people sitting there and almost no one buying the fucking token until I show up. I don't really want to have power, partly because I know I'll turn into a giant fucking dick. So that's why I want to build this DAO so that I'm not in charge. I don't have control. I'm just taking orders from you guys. Yeah, made off with 40 ETH. Through the transaction log, I found the transaction. If you scroll up through the chat, I posted the links the link to the transaction hash as shown in Bloxy.info, and a link to the wallet that did it in Bloxy.info. So you can scroll up and find it in the chat, and yeah, there's the transaction where the rug pull happened, and there's the wallet that did the rug pull. I don't know about tracking that down to anyone, and I'm not entirely sure, like, I mean, I can think of a few ways we're going to do it, but I'm not sure that it would really be possible to track it to a person. But at the very least, you guys have the wallet addresses. So, like, put that in a clipboard somewhere. And I'd say, like, anytime you see either the dev that created GEKKO, the wallet address that created GEKKO, or the wallet address that rug pulled on GEKKO involved in any meaningful way in a token, just scream scam, spam gay porn in their channel until you get kicked. Simple enough. Or Scheisshausen porn. Scheisshausen porn would also be good. In fact, that might be good. Like Scheisshausen porn, or maybe you can find like a Three Stooges GIF, animated GIF, where they're like pulling a rug up from under somebody. I'm not sure. But yeah, so yeah, summary. GEKKO, complete garbage. They cloned the sushi swap code. They rug pulled, looks like by minting tokens, and then just yanked and left with all the ETH, so there was no more liquidity. Yep, the DeFi open source swap meet. I know. I love DeFi because it's inherently open source. You have no choice but to be open source. As far as the YFBETA drop, looks like from the time the YFBETA drop happened, it directly coincided with the developer making their announcement. The announcement, I think, was worded a little badly, but there was nothing wrong in it. They were just saying that they disagreed with the community's disbursement time, and that they would be, as planned, as this has always been planned, transferring governance to the community and then moving on to continue developing the financial exchange. It looked like a bunch of people, through the combination of the vote not going the way they liked and the dev's announcement, which was not wrong. It's a perfectly great announcement. I could see in the way it was written that some people might get the feeling that they were a little butthurt and might worry about the viability of the contract. I don't think the dev was. I think the dev was just, they just don't have much experience writing press releases, honestly, and not everyone does. You have to be kind of a marketing robot to properly write a press release, so what do you want? So yeah, a bunch of people sold. When a bunch of people sold, that dumped the price. But from just going over it and reviewing it, looked like the price was climbing back up. So welcome to the roller coaster of trading. For anyone that either held through that or bought the dip or did a swing trade while it was up and then picked it up on the dip, congratulations. I expect you're going to be very, very happy in the long run. I'm not giving any financial advice. I don't give financial advice. I'm not retained professionally for any of these audits, so I'm not professionally liable for any of them. I'm sorry that the state makes me give those disclaimers. It's kind of bullshit. But, yeah, I still like YFBETA, not just because they're the guys that got me started in all of this and gave me the inspiration to do it, so congratulations, boys. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a YFBETA holder sale round on my DAO just to congratulate you people, because you're beautiful and magnificent. You've been a great community, and hell, might even airdrop some into like all YFBETA holders. I'm not sure. I'll still work that out, but I do want to reward the people that are in my Discord and the people that are contributing directly first. From there, I would like to give a little nod of a grant to the YFBETA guys, because you're the ones that helped inspire and motivate me to do all of this and been doing a wonderful job. And from there, we'll just continue on and try to give you a service on the audit DAO that will give you guys the information you need to understand how secure and reliable a token launch is going to be, and whether or not you're going to want to invest in it. We won't be able to give economic analysis at that point, but that's not our point. Our point is to tell you whether or not the code is bad and what risks there are in the code. Might continue on to do an automated financial analysis service too, but that would be much, much later, or depending on how I can manage to launch the audit DAO. I want to be very clear here, though, as I say this, that it looks like there's an existing audit DAO on Twitter. The thing is that their forum link is dead. There's nothing behind it. And I would like to play nice. I was trying to reach out to them to see if, when I found out they existed, I was trying to reach out to see if we could partner, if maybe I could bring my idea to them and we could try to restructure things or whatever. But it also looks like those guys, the guys who launched that, are also the ones that launched the Pi DAO, and I'm not sure what the heck's going on. So I've tried to reach out to the Pi DAO guys to see what's happening with Audit DAO. I'm going ahead with Audit DAO, but I just want to lay out to anyone clearly that the Audit DAO on Twitter is not me, and that is not my doing. I'm not saying they're bad. I just want to be very clear. That's not me. I currently have auditdao.finance and auditdao.crypto. And I will be putting up sites and more information behind that. I'll be working on setting up the Discord and configuring everything properly. And as that final call, anyone that would like to be in on the however far in advance that sale goes, I'm not sure, of the Audit DAO token, all I ask, and I'm doing this to provide that little bit of hurdle for entry, just to ensure people really are interested and committed. It's an economic thing. You can ask people about having that hurdle to get engaged and involvement. I would just be asking for a tiny, tiny, tiny donation, whatever you want. I don't care. Minimal amount does not matter. I just want the transaction so that, one, at the very worst, I have a track of the wallet, and I can try to find the user, like reach out to the user through the wallet in some way, or I can at least confirm that you've done that. So in that, I would also ask that on Discord, you go ahead and make that tiny, tiny donation. I'm not asking for any particular amount. It can be whatever minuscule amount you feel comfortable sending over. It's merely that, like, assertion that, yes, I am so committed that I'm taking the time to put my address in there, coyote.eth. That's the one that will route. You can put that in any wallet for the most part. That will send it to me. Just indicate that, yep, you are engaged enough to actually go through those steps, to actually send that in. You get on my Discord through the link there. You send me a message through that to let me know that you made the donation. Send me the transaction hash. And over this week, definitely at the latest, I will sit down Saturday morning and do all the finish of the setup. But I will go through. I will create a special, like, pre-launch contributor role for everyone to identify them. I'll have some conversation rooms so you guys can go in there and not be bothered by the rabble, and so on. Why not Coyote DAO? I don't want to name it Coyote DAO because I want this to be official. I would like this to be an organization that when we want to talk to traditional finance organizations, or because we want to actually be able to speak authoritatively to government regulatory boards, because at some point government regulation is coming. And I agree with some folks, I think it's Chico or Elio, I can't remember which one that was saying it, but I agree with those guys when which one of them said it, but I agree with them when they say that, look, our regulation is coming, there's not anything we can do about it, but we should be ready when they come. And so what I would like to do to be ready when the regulations come is that I would like to have a body that when, like, the SEC comes around and finally says, all right, motherfuckers, we got to put some shackles on crypto, and they start going to all of the big groups, and they're like, okay, so we're going to talk to Coinbase because they're huge, we're going to talk to Maker because they're huge, whatever. I want everyone in the community to just be able to scream at them, no, motherfuckers, you talk to fucking Audit DAO, because we don't invest if Audit DAO hasn't signed off on something. That's all. And I want to put you guys in charge of that. I want you guys to be deciding how much and when I get paid and what I work on from there. And to be honest, as far as I'm concerned, I want this to be my working retirement. I don't want a job after this. I don't want to cash out. I don't want to leave. I want to make maintaining the Audit DAO basically my working retirement. I don't want to do anything after this. I would like to keel over dead at some conference telling people about the virtues of DeFi, because I've worked myself to fucking death and I'm like 120, all right? So, or just pay them. Yes, that's going to be part of the process. So, maybe the DAO can build up enough cash reserve that we can finally bribe the SEC and the other people. So, because, there's a certain type of person that runs the world, and no, it's not that ethnic group you might be thinking of, and no, it's not reptiles from the center of the earth. It's fucking greedy psychopaths. Because the only people that can get that fucking rich and have that much fucking power are greedy fucking psychopaths. No good person actually gets that much power. Hence why I want to give you the power. I want to give you the power over how much I get paid and what work I do for you guys. So basically, I'm going to be your bitch for the rest of my life if this works out. So, if you would like me to be your bitch, come on and join Audit DAO. Other than that, I really thank you guys joining. I really appreciate all the feedback. I appreciate the great community investment and involvement. You guys are beautiful. I really appreciate all the shilling you guys have done out to the world. I've gotten an absolutely amazing response from everyone. Your guys' involvement, your response to this, and my live streams have really, really helped secure investment and interest from other people. Some of the groups I was talking to that were a little hesitant on getting involved, when they saw the streams, they saw your responses, and they saw the amount that has been donated over just the point of 48 hours, every single person has said yes. Even the hesitant people. The hesitant people have come back and said, I'm sorry I was hesitant. How can I get in on this? So you guys are great. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Again, I will close out by repeating that Audit DAO on Twitter is not me. I don't know them. They're fine, I'm sure. Apparently the Pi DAO guys are behind them, but technically not me. I am nCoyote on Life, nCoyote on Twitter. I am Coyote on Discord. You have my link. I'm probably going to change the number there somewhere. I got to sign up and pay for Discord essentially at this point. But other than that, no, I'm not Satoshi. I am merely a DeFi degen doge online. I'm really glad that dogs on the internet are getting greater acceptance here. I don't have to hide, not like the old days when they had that cartoon online, no one knows you're a dog. Now people can know we're dogs, so it's cool. So, I appreciate it. You guys are beautiful. You guys are magnificent. I appreciate all of this. It's been, like, yeah, at this point, you guys are changing my life. Because, like, if this goes through, this is momentous in my feeling. And you guys inspired me to do it. I'm doing it for you guys and the rest of the community because I believe in the tech and I want it to take off. And I think this is the answer that we need to have a good foundation. So, yeah. By all means, send me tips on any projects that you hear are coming up. I will endeavor to contact devs and find out as close to possible when their launch is going to be so I can review them live as soon as they come out. If anyone has their code out, I'll do a pre-launch review of that. I won't call it an audit because technically there's no guarantee that what's on the chain is what's in Discord. So I will only call it an audit when I decompile the code from the chain, all right? So yeah, I'm happy to do pre-launch reviews. I'm happy to do at-launch audits. I'm happy to do technical assessments. I've got plans to do some videos on how some of this stuff works. You know, I'm sure there's lots of videos explaining blockchain and what and everything, but I'm talking about I'd like to dig into explaining to people like how to use some of these analysis tools so that basically I want you guys to be able to spot your own scams. And I want you guys to have a tool that will help you spot scams. So, other than that, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You guys have a good night. It has been exhausting, and I still have a proposal I need to write and some design documents to put together for the application. So, other than that, thank you very much for all of your feedback. Thank you for saying that this is very needed. I greatly appreciate it. And with that, I will close out with what I am forming as our... where is it? Where did that go? Where did I put it? Oh, fine. Hold on. I changed it. I lost it somewhere. I didn't entirely lose it. I just lost track of it, so I apologize. So, with this, if you would, join me in the DeFi Degen. Whoa. Okay, that's not good. There we are. So, if you will join me in the DeFi Degen prayer to bless our trades, to appreciate the beauty and genius of everything that we have been given in this magnificent decentralized finance world. I'll probably be posting this in our Discord here. So, join me again in the DeFi Degen prayer. Uniswap, who art in the chain, hallowed be thy protocol. Thy market come, thy arbitrage be done, in law as it is in code. Give us this day our daily gains, and forgive us for ignoring the price impact, as we forgive those that ignore the price impact. And lead us not into shitcoins, but deliver us from impermanent loss.